The Martin County School Board meeting is called to order. Please take your seats. I would like to call Pastor James Harp to give us the invocation, please.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. May your kingdom come and your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and right here as it is in heaven. May your will be done, Lord. We ask you to be with this meeting today. We ask that you would give your divine wisdom and guidance, Lord. We thank you for each one that's here, and the reasons they're here today is because they care. They care, God, about their children, their school. And so, God, we thank you that you care about what we care about. And so, God, we just commit this meeting into your hands. I pray today, as I pray frequently, Lord, for protection. I pray that you'd be with our students, our teachers, our administrators, faculty, those who take care of the grounds and the buildings, Lord, everyone that has anything to do with Martin County schools. God, I ask your blessing to be upon them and your protection, Lord, to be upon them as well. Lord, there's decisions that need to be made today, and we do ask that you would give that wisdom. You tell us in your scriptures, Lord, that if anyone lacks wisdom, that we're to ask in faith, in believing, God, and that you will give wisdom to those who ask in faith. So I pray that today, Father. And again, I thank you for this privilege of being able to pray a blessing upon each one that's here, those that may be watching online, all that are affiliated and associated, Lord, with our schools. We thank you, God, for what you're doing. We thank you for who you are. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of Allegiance of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are waiting for the Stewart Middle School band to arrive. They had a little transportation issue, so we are going to go a little bit out of order. So, Ms. Falls, would you call the roll, please?
Dr. Moriarty?
Here.
Mrs. Roberts?
Here.
Mrs. Powers?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here.
Mrs. Pritchett?
Here. Okay, I'm going to ask for approval of the agenda and addendum with the following items added. 7.03, items updated. 4.03, 9.01, 9.02, 18.03, 18.08, and 19.01, and the items removed, 3.01. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So now I would like to ask for, let's see. We are going to move up our agenda. We're going to do first review of school board policy with Don Calderon.
Agenda?
Again?
Do our consent agenda.
Oh, I apologize. You can still come up. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved 3 through 11.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Russell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Thanks.
Okay. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Maine. I am Don Calderon, Director of Risk Management and Employee Benefits with the Martin County School District. and I am here today to continue the discussion regarding Board Policy 6560, which is the retiree health insurance policy. So before I get into the information requests that was asked of staff to provide, I want to just first take a look at where we were on February 4th. So if you recall, we met at the February 4th board workshop, and the consensus of the board at that time was to ensure that anybody that has already retired, or will retire by June 30th, 2025, that the policy that has been in place since November of 2015 will continue to be in place in full effect for those people. So remember, we're talking about two buckets of people, right? The retirees that are under age 65 and the retirees that are over the age of 65. So before you is the board policy 6560 with the changes that have been made for your first review here today. And that encompasses what the board consensus was at that February 4th workshop. So you can clearly see that this policy refers to employees that have retired or will retire by June 30th, 2025. And the changes have been highlighted in green. And for the years of service contribution, still the same as it has always been, except that the percentage of the contribution based on the active contribution of medical insurance has just been changed to a dollar amount. And that dollar amount is the same as it has been based on the $6,500. Okay. And then if you scroll down for the next bucket of people that we've been talking about is the retirees that are over age 65. The board consensus was to ensure that those retirees that are over 65 continue to receive the same benefit based in the form of the Martin County Health Insurance Subsidy, as they have been since the policy went into effect in November of 2015. So all we did there was just made some minor changes highlighted in green that says if you retired between December 31st, 2015 and June 30th, 2025, you will still receive that health insurance subsidy for $5 for every year of service up to 30 years, paid out each month to you with no end date. So it goes through until the retiree's passing. So any questions from the board based on that?
So I was just going to say, on the 6,500, using that dollar amount, what if it changes?
Well, that would be the board's discretion, is if they wanted to increase that amount. It's been $6,500, I believe, since the policy went into effect. So
I would suggest that we cap it at the 6,500, a percentage of a maximum of 6,500, and then if it goes down, if for whatever reason it goes down, I don't anticipate that it ever would, given the way insurance costs are, but then we would use the lesser of 6,500 or whatever the max contribution we're making to our current employees if it's lower.
So I think we can do that with the sentence at the end of that section, Don. After you say D, 30 years, 6,500, if you added a sentence in there that said the 6,500 is the maximum based on the amount that is being paid currently, or being paid to active employees, this would be the maximum amount that would be paid, that if the amount that's paid to active employees goes down.
Well, every percentage would change.
Then it would revert to the percentages. I mean, I think
Yeah,
that
because
would be.
if it's a percentage of 6,500, these are the numbers, but if it were a percentage of 5,000, every number would change, not just the 6,500. So we need to create the maximum of the maximum. The percentages are based on a maximum of $6,500, and then, or the, if the maximum, if the 6,500 were to decrease for our current employees, then it would be based on the lesser of the two.
Yeah, but the percentage language has come out completely,
So
in
we-
the proposal,
Yeah.
so.
I think it just needs to say it is capped at $6,500. It's very simple. If that's okay, it's going to be capped at $6,500.
Right, but if the percentage,
We're not doing percentages, though. We're not naming percentages. They are coming out.
I think what,
except that it is a percentage of this, so if the number goes down, it's not going to be 1625 for a person employed, that's going to go down as well. So they wouldn't be subject to the maximum. So if we just put that language, the first A, B, and C would never change. It would only be this maximum 30-year retirees that would see a change. Theirs would go down, but nobody else's would if we don't put the right language in there.
yeah, so I just think if you had in the event that the board contribution to active employee health insurance decreases from $6,500, retirees will be paid a percentage of the lesser amount
Based on years of service.
based on years of service, and then put in the 15 years, 25%, and do it that way. I think if you did that, then it, just a one-sentence piece, so you're just figuring, I don't really think it's ever going to go down from the 6,500, but I see your point of doing it that way, yeah.
Okay.
Got it?
I had one other. And so this, the originally posted agenda item that had this was not contemplating the possibility of crossing over. For instance, a retiree who is currently getting, under the age of 65, who's currently getting the 6,500 or whatever percentage thereof, who within the next couple of years or whenever transitions into Medicare and then would be able to get the Martin County health insurance subsidy, which would then, plus the state subsidy. So this new language that is in the updated version of the agenda, which is the language that is here now in front of us, is language that takes care of that.
Correct.
piece,
Yeah,
right?
there was a clerical error on the posted policy. It was updated this morning with the correct language that basically states if you're a current retiree and you're 63 years old, once you turn 65, you would still receive the $5 per month for your service until you pass away. Yeah.
So this would maintain everything exactly the same. If you're currently retired or retire before June 30th of 2025, it's exactly the same as how it's been for the last 10 years.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yes. Yep.
I would just want to also make sure that people know that this policy, as it's written now, only applies to people that are currently retired or that will retire. There will be another policy that will apply to our active employees that will retire in the future.
Yes.
Or it will be added to this. I don't know how, if we do a separate policy, because I don't know what that is like, but I know we have until June 30th to get the language right, and it's extremely complicated, just in the discussions that we've had, so we need to make sure that we have all of our dates right. And I know we were waiting for Mr. Harmon to weigh in on that as well. So this policy that we're talking about tonight only applies to current retired former employees, not our current employees that will retire after June 30th of 2025.
Yes. Perfectly stated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So are you looking for approval for the advertising thing, or you would be taking public comment before you did that?
with the proposed.
Mr. George, do we have to have public comment before an advertising review approval?
You do not have to. It's your discretion whether you want to.
$560 with the,
I can't hear, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
sorry.
It's okay.
May I have a motion to approve policy 6560 with the changes that we stated today?
So moved for the
second.
advertising review.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, 4-1 with Dr. Moriarty dissenting. Okay.
Would you like me to proceed or?
Is the band here? Okay. Let's let them, you can take a break, and they have to set up, it's gonna take a few minutes, so we're gonna just take a very short recess while the band sets up. Give them a little time. Thank you. We're back in session. Can everyone take their seats and give the Stewart Middle School Band an opportunity? I would like to welcome the Stewart Middle School Band under the direction of Emily Roberts Asbeck, and one of the members will be introducing the song selections. So take it away.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening. The songs we'll be playing tonight are the theme from Spider-Man, followed by The Chicken. I hope you all enjoy.
Thank you so much. Let's give it a round of applause again for the Stewart Middle School Band. Thank you so much. We're going to let them clear out. Okay, Mr. Calderon, you're back up.
Okay. I'd rather listen to the music myself, but okay. So just to reiterate for the people that are in the audience, because I know we had some people that were just entering, and then for everybody watching at home, the board is in agreement that they're going to continue this policy. If you were retired or will retire by June 30th, 2025, it will be the same structure as it has been for you since the board created the policy back in 2015, okay? So the next thing we're gonna talk about is we're going to talk about some different options for the groups of people that the board wanted to discuss for those that will retire after June 30th, 2025. So that we're looking at options for those that retire July 1st, 2025 and beyond. I skipped the first slide because we just went over that with the discussion of the policy. So at the February 4th workshop, there was some additional information that the board requested, and they wanted to look at information regarding three groups of people. Employees that are in the pension plan that are currently in the DROP program, and they asked to have any enrollment in that updated because we were looking at enrollment as of September of 2024. It's February 2025, so we went ahead and did that. We also wanted to take a look at two groups of people that we haven't discussed previously, those that are in the pension plan but that are not currently in DROP, and then those employees that are in the investment plan. So, you know, for those that are not in the DROP program, that are in the pension plan, and those that are in the investment plan, it's difficult to have a crystal ball and figure out when they're going to retire. So we did have to make some assumptions in the data that we're going to present to you here. I have these laid out here, but basically what we're talking about is, you know, if you're under 65 years old, we're assuming that you're going to retire after 30 years of service, because 30 years is a magic number as outlined in that board policy. That's when you get the largest contribution towards your retiree health insurance. And then some other assumptions are that if you're over 65, that you will retire when you get to that age, when you hit that years of service. when we start talking about options for retirees that are over the age of 65, we made some assumptions. We actually researched what the average life expectancy in the state of Florida is, and that's 80 years old. And the last thing that we had to take a look at was, how far out we're going to take a look at this. So we are going out about 14 years until June 30th, 2039. And we use that number for a specific reason, and we'll show you that when we get to that, that slide there. Okay, so just an update. For employees that are in the pension plan, we reran the numbers, and these are the people that are in drop, okay? So as of February 4th, we reran the numbers. We have 88 employees that are in the pension plan in drop, so we know based on that drop end date when they literally have to retire. They can retire before that point, but they do have to retire at that date. For this exercise, we are going to be assuming that they work until their drop end date. Right now, we have 88 current employees in drop. 24 of them are currently over the age of 65. 64 are under the age of 65, and coincidentally enough, exactly half will be under the age of 65 when their drop period ends, and half will be over 65. The next group of people that we are going to be looking at are those active employees that are in the pension plan but have not entered drop yet. They may or they may not. It's their own personal decision. Overall, we have 1,500 employees working at the school district that are in the pension plan. For this purpose, for this exercise, we are looking at those that are between the ages of 50 and 64. So out of that 1,500, we have 616 employees that are between the ages of 50 and 64, and we have 76 employees that are over the age of 65. Okay, and the last group of people are those that are in the investment plan. So the investment plan is another FRS option for active employees. We have 990 that are currently enrolled, and 300 of those employees are between the ages of 50 and 64. 71 of them are already over the age of 65. Okay. So we have some estimated costs here. We broke it down between now and the next 15 years as of June 30th, 2039. Taking a look at those three buckets of people, estimated costs is about $701,000 for those that are in drop. 7.9 million is an estimate of what it costs for retiree health insurance for those that are in the pension plan, not in drop, that are between the ages of 50 and 64, and 844,000 is the cost for those that are in the investment plan between the ages of 50 and 64. So that is the assumptions we've made. That's the general costs. So what we have here before the board is we have 6 options. Trying to capture everything. I'm doing the best I can here. But we have 6 options for the board to consider for employees that are under the age of 65. And we do have it broken down into those 3 buckets of people. The first bucket of people that we're going to discuss are those that are currently in the drop program, okay, that are under 65. So options A through F are outlined here. Option A is kind of what we call the do nothing plan, or do nothing option. So for option A, you'll see that you will continue the current arrangement of funding the retiree health insurance for those that are under the age of 65 forever and ever. There's no end date there. But for the purpose of this exercise, we do have the last year where there's a budget allocated to that through June 30th, 2038, because we know based on the employees that are in the drop program that those employees, the last employee that would be receiving a retiree health insurance contribution based on their age would be in the year 2038. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. And then for option B, we took a look at if you kept it the same arrangement based on the money that is allocated towards contribution based on years of service. If you end it in 5 years, in 2030. Option C, same thing, goes out to 2035, so it's a 10-year lookout. Option D is to keep everything the same arrangement, the same funding arrangement for those under 65, but end it on June 30th, 2038. And you'll see here that option D is the cost of $701,000 is the same as that in option A. However, option D ends that retiree health insurance contribution to those retirees under the age of 65 on June 30th, 2038. So what that would allow is that anybody that is currently in drop, or that is currently in drop, they will not be negatively affected at all. So it would keep the funding for those employees under the age of 65 the same until June 30th, 2038. Then after June 30th, 2038, there's no line there for 3839 costs because we would end it on July 1st, 2038. Option E is a option that just takes a look at seeing, well, what if we incentivized the years of service between 20 and 29 years and 30 years, just a little playing with the numbers a little bit. It basically doesn't do anything. It's the same cost because what we find is that the majority of people retire between the years of service 20 to 30. And then option F was just another option that just took a look at paying a retiree bonus, like an incentive when they retire, rather than doing a health insurance contribution. We have it based on years of service, and if the board is interested in that, that would be the cost. The cost payout would be when those employees actually retire, you would pay it out. $7,500 if they worked here between 20 and 29 years, $12,500 if they work 30 years or more. So those are the 6 options, and we present, we have in the additional slides the cost for each of those buckets of people. The next slide would look at those that are in the pension plan but not in drop, and then the third one would be those that are in the investment plan as well. So that's kind of the budget lookout of those that are under age 65. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Calderon, and do you have a staff recommendation for each of these 3 buckets?
I do. Our staff recommendation would be option D for each 3 of those buckets of people. And the reason being is because if you chose option D, those that are currently in drop, there would be no employees negatively impacted. It would cover everybody in drop. They would still be getting the same contribution based on the board policy, if you change that end date to 2038, that they were thinking they were getting when they entered into drop. And then for those that maybe are not in the drop program just yet, but they are in the pension plan, you can see option D here for these group of people. It's the total savings is only $175,000 to the district. It only would negatively affect 27 employees. And then option D, for those that are in the investment plan between the ages of 50 and 64, it would basically make all of those employees whole except for just 3 of them. So it does the least amount of negative impact to those employees. And it also gives employees a 13-year kind of window to take a look at what their options are and to plan. And giving them 13 years lookout, and when you combine the 13 years from now and add it to the 10 years that the board policy has been in place, it's quite a bit of time. That would be my staff recommendation for under 65 retiree health insurance.
This is a question for Carter. So I know that in a lot of the correspondence that I've been getting, there have been a lot of comments about how our neighbors to the north and to the south, their salaries are, you know, employees could be leaving and going to the north and the south to get more money. And I also know that the TSIA money that the governor has put out there has kind of equalized that playing field. So I was just wondering if you have those numbers on the top of your head, that if I came to the district with, say, 0 years of experience or 5 years of experience as a teacher, and I was coming to work, do you have, I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that, but do you have the number that if I came, what's the difference if I came to the Martin County School District as opposed to going to my neighbor to the north or the south?
What I can answer is that, yes, over the last several years, we have made a Herculean effort to put more monies into the base salaries, particularly for teachers, using the governor's money from the teacher salary increase allocation, plus our own local dollars. Just this year alone, we pledged over $1.3 million. It was very good to know at the table that the very first session that we had with MCEA, we came to an agreement on pretty much largely the wage issue. If I can just get a moment to pull up my spreadsheet, I will tell you just from memory that a new teacher in the district, the experience placement schedule will now put them at $51,034. With 5 years of experience, et cetera, up the scale, I will have to get those numbers for you if you would just bear with me for a second.
Sure, appreciate that. And I guess you know the number of what it is if I went to Palm Beach or to St. Lucie County.
I don't have those updated numbers with me at this time, but I can certainly get that for you subsequent to the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
While Carter is doing that, could you explain the other 66 districts and what they are giving to their employees in
Sure.
retiree health benefits?
Right, so there's 67 districts in the state of Florida. Our department is part of a Florida Educational Risk Management Association, which is made up of directors of risk management and employee benefits in the school districts, public school districts in Florida. We did a survey request, and we asked all 67 of those members to please provide us information on how you contribute to your retiree health insurance for both under 65 and over 65. We had 21 responses. None of the 21 districts contribute to over 65, okay? For under 65, we found 2 school districts that do. Madison County School District, they give their retirees $100 off per month for retiree health insurance for 1 year. And Suwannee County does something similar to what we do. You have to have at least 20 years of experience with the district. You do receive the same contribution as an active employee. However, whatever FRS is giving you, they shave that off of their contribution, so it's less, and you only get it for 5 years. So from a retention standpoint, I feel like option D will keep employees that are currently working here. It gives them an incentive to stay here because we would contribute to their retiree health insurance under 65 for another 13 years.
Thank you.
Another question. Mr. Main, I know that you meet for labor relations meetings with our various entities, and I was just wondering if in any of those meetings, any of them have weighed in on their feelings on retiree health insurance.
Just the thought that retiree health insurance is continuing to go up, and this is something that oftentimes surprises them when I'm able to speak at the table that this is something that we've even provided or remotely get close to providing for our employees. It is something that other school districts wouldn't even remotely be considering at this time, given the current state of finances throughout many of the districts. I believe that option D, being the most employee-friendly and giving them an additional 13 years of payout and to be able to provide another, go a different direction after 13 years is more than fair and equitable, while also keeping that the employees first in mind as we move forward. Out of 67 districts in the state of Florida, you'd be hard-pressed out of the 22 that did respond. In my collaboration with other superintendents, I'm not sure, other than those other two, that there are any that provide or contribute to their retiree insurance.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, thank you for recognizing me. Yes, based on the experience placement schedule, as I mentioned, a teacher with brand new teacher to the district would be starting at $51,034. 5 years would be $51,385. 10 years would be $51,823. 15 years, $52,349. 20 years, $54,398, and up to 30 years, $59,708. I just want to make the point also that this is just for new folks coming in, but those who are already with us have had the benefit of those raises compounding over time, as well as just to point out that the board also has an agreement with MCEA regarding the millage funds that they also receive on top of that. And in closing, just to reiterate and support Mr. Calderon's point, I had also a conversation with the actuaries today regarding the actuarial liability that's carried on our balance sheet with respect to some of these items. And they also were hard-pressed to think of clients that they had that still do this. So I just wanted to also put that in front of the board as well. Thank you.
You can proceed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's take a look at estimated costs for future retirees over age 65, looking at a 15-year window through June 30th, 2039. Based on the assumptions we listed on page 3, we're expecting for over 65, the cost of retiree health insurance for those employees in the pension drop to be about $909,000. For those that are in the FRS pension but not enter drop, $3.2 million, and $842,000 for those that are in the investment plan. So remember, over 65 is a different bucket of people. So once you hit 65, the way that the policy is currently written, and if you've retired prior to June 30th, 2025, the board gives you $5 per month per year of service with a 30-year maximum. So this one, we have 4 options here, options A through D. Option A is the make no changes. You keep it at $5 per year service each month with a 30-year max with no end date in sight. Keep it on forever and ever. We have that listed based on those that are currently in drop over 65. The total cost would be $909,000 through the 38-39 year. If you were to continue it after July 1st, 2025 for those that are retire and turn 65, if you change it to $250 a month, drop it down, it's $456,000. Option C is the option where if you retire after the age of 65, after July 1st, there is no longer a Martin County Health Insurance subsidy paid out. The savings is $905,000 because the contributions end, the subsidy ends. And then option D is if you took a look at considering a retiree payout, a one-time bonus payout based on years of service. And we did the same exercise and estimates for those that are in the pension plan but not in drop over 65, and those that are in the investment plan over 65, options A through D.
And what is your recommendation on the over 65?
For new retirees that retire after July 1st, 2025 that are 65, the staff recommends option C to no longer provide that because none of the other school districts in the area are doing that. We just feel like between the FRS contribution and the cost of Medicare and the supplements that that option C would be the staff recommendation.
Board discussion about this? I should just leave it on.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm asking for a motion to take staff's recommendation and go with option C for those who are retiring after June 30th, 2025,
For over 65?
or over 65.
So let me understand your three pieces first. So the staff recommendation for the under 65 that are currently in drop, right,
Yes.
is a recommendation of letter D, correct?
Yes,
Which
D as in
means-
dog.
Which means that that will continue. So if I'm in drop right now, that will continue, and I will continue to get, if I happen to have 30 years of service and be very, very young. With D, I would continue to get payments through 2038.
Yes.
Through June of 2038. And so if I'm under age 65 and I am in drop and I'm going to be 65 in 2 years, I would be treated just the same way that the retirees are being treated.
Yes.
Correct? As far as that, the 6,500 goes, correct?
Yes.
And then the recommendation for the people that are under 65 that are not in drop, which includes pension plan people who didn't join up with drop, and includes investment plan people who don't have the ability to be in drop. The recommendation is also D, to treat those the same and have a sunset date on that of June 2038.
Yes.
Which means that anybody who would retire under the age of 65, anybody whose birthday puts them, the people that it negatively impacts are people who will not be 65 by 2038 and who retire before then, correct? So for instance, if I'm going to turn 65 in 2040,
Right.
as an example, right?
Right.
And then I retire, I have 30 years of experience and I retire tomorrow. I will get 6,500 through June of 38.
Correct.
But I will miss a couple of years.
Correct.
Correct, that's who I would name, okay. And then your third recommendation is for the Martin County Health Insurance Subsidy. And your recommendation for that is letter C,
For over 65.
which means that anybody over the age of 65 who is not a current retiree would not be getting a health insurance subsidy,
Correct.
correct? Okay, thank you.
Do I just,
I'll make a motion to do all three of those then. To treat
three
the
of which?
under 65 people in drop with letter D. To treat the under 65 people not in drop, meaning they're on the pension plan or the investment plan, recommendation D. And for the people over the age of 65, as far as the Martin County Health Insurance Subsidy goes, to use recommendation C. That's my
Could we
motion.
make those as separate motions, or,
Oh, if you want me to.
yeah? I would
Okay,
like that.
so I'll make a motion for the first one. For under 65 people in drop, letter D.
Second.
Ms. Roberts' motion, Ms. Powers' second, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Next motion, under 65, not in drop, meaning you're in the pension plan or investment plan, but you haven't indicated or signed up for drop. For that group of people, item D. That's my motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Item 3, for the people who are over 65, as far as the Martin County Health Insurance Subsidy for retirees retiring after the date of June 30, 2025, item selection C. That's my motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries with Dr. Moriarty dissenting 4-1. Oh, I'm sorry, and 3-2. Ms. Russell and Dr. Moriarty dissenting.
So then it's my understanding now that these will go through the attorney to have the correct policy written, which would drive this. And then we will have a first advertising review, correct, Ms. Falls? When, if anybody wanted to talk about it again, we can talk about it again. We could make changes at that time to the policy if we so chose to. If there were no changes to the policy or at that time, or if changes were made, it then goes to the final review. And then the final review is a public hearing where people can talk about it again. And if it is approved at the final, no changes can be made at the final hearing. At the final hearing, it's either accepting that or going back to a new advertising review. Is that correct?
And all that has to be done before June 30th.
Well, I don't think it yeah, it has to be done by June 30th in order to cover the people who retire after June 30th. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are going to move to board member discussion.
Madam Chair, it's 5 o'clock. Could we have public comment?
Oh, sure. Okay, I'm going to call your name, and then I'm going to call who comes after you. Colette Henson Rivera, followed by Tom Higgins.
Good afternoon. Oh, okay. Last week, my son came home from school. Can you read this? Sorry, unconsolable sobbing coming off the bus. The bus staff, as well as my son, said that his paraprofessional hurt my son. Hudson, my son, cried and said he squeezed his hand and he hurt me. My son does speak, but not fully in conversation. He's in an ESE class. He's 5. So this really upset me. I had to watch a video of my 5-year-old son being aggressively mishandled by a paraprofessional, and it has caused my family so much mental stress along with my son being sad about what happened constantly. I went to see the video footage here at the school board, and it was unimaginable to have to see my son being hurt by a school staff member. The man picked up my son 3 times while he was sitting Indian style waiting for the bus and put him down aggressively for no reason. Can't.
Take your time.
The other families are very concerned as well. They have not been informed of this issue. There are nonverbal kids in his class, and how long is this going to go on before someone has to defend our children? They need extra care. My questions going forward were the proper procedural steps followed? Was the school board notified of these past incidents of what action was taken? What steps have been taken to make sure this individual is not employed by the Martin County School District in the future? I was come to find out tonight was his resignation. That's why I'm here. When I emailed the board this morning, I didn't know it was tonight. I was informed of it later on after I had sent my email to you guys, just FYI. I also would like to make sure that in his personal record, this incident was documented, if there's a way to get that in writing. There also needs to be better guidelines for paraprofessionals to be able to work with kids with special needs. Pretty much that's going really fast, but yeah. That's about it for right now.
All right, thank you. Ms. Estevez? I'm going to let Superintendent Maine speak.
Okay.
Normally, we don't address public comment, but I would like to take the opportunity to address your concerns. I appreciate you coming forward this evening and speaking on behalf of your child. It is very heartfelt and understanding, and you have every right to speak up on behalf of your student. I want you to know that a thorough investigation was completed. Due process rights were provided to the employee. My recommendation moving forward to the board was going to be termination for this employee, and we still are obligated as a district to refer the employee to the Professional Standards Division at the DOE. That will all be happening. The employee chose to resign in lieu of termination, and they have the right to do that. But I want you to know that my recommendation to the board was after the investigation was completed, was going to be termination to the board, and we will be reporting, as we always do, to the Department of Professional Standards.
Tom Higgins, followed by Julie Roberts. Julie Roberts, followed by Jody Winterkorn.
Good afternoon. My name is Julie Roberts, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself, my sister Jean Wright, who is here with me, and the devoted employees of the Martin County School District. I want to speak to you today about the matter that we've all been talking about, and that's the insurance. In 2015, the Martin County School District employees were promised a very meaningful benefit when we retire to help us with our insurance, and I know we've gone over all of that tonight, but I still want to speak to it. We were promised that when we retire, we would be given a district supplement of $5 per year of service up to 30 years to supplement our health insurance costs. At this time, that promise is now in jeopardy of being taken away from us. I'm here to, once again, ask you to consider taking the stance of leaving it in place for those of us who are still in drop, so that as we were guaranteed. For many of us, we are longtime employees of the district. This is what we've been waiting for. The ability to know that when we retire, after giving so many years of our dedicated service to the district and students, we will have this support. After all, when we retire, we only receive 75% of our pay. Having our pay cut and then having to provide insurance for ourselves in the future is going to place a hardship on our incomes. We all know that as a school district, the teacher retention is an area that we do struggle with. And taking this benefit away would only make that, as we were promised, would only keep this spiral going downward. My daughter, who is a registered nurse, sees this all the time. She has seen so many people who don't know how they're going to pay their hospital bills, their doctor bills, their testing bills, only with Medicare. Because Medicare only pays 80%, that leaves 20% for them to pay. That's an astronomical and unattainable figure to many people. This would mean lack of health care services for many of us, because that 20% is massive at times, especially in a hospital stay that could be over $100,000. That would still leave $20,000 to pay. Our friends in law enforcement that I've spoken to, friends who are firefighters in Martin County, they are receiving benefits that they were promised. That's what we would expect after devoting our full adult lives to this one profession. I am respectfully requesting that you would strongly consider keeping this benefit in place for your devoted and long-term employees. There are many other niceties, but not necessities, that we could find to be cut. And please show us that you care. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jody Winterkorn, followed by Stephanie Davis Chang.
Good evening. Every job is a self-portrait of the person who does it. Autograph your work with excellence. When I read those words, they really stuck with me because I live them. My job is a reflection of who I am. And from the Winter Corner at J.D. Parker to the Innovation Center at Jensen Beach High, I am proud of the job that I have done for the last 26 years for this district. And I've been blessed to work alongside some of the greatest educators who have become the best of friends. And I stand before you today on behalf of them and myself, on behalf of those who mentored me decades ago, and those whom I mentor today, because to me the best part of this job is building relationships. And not just with colleagues, with my students. It's the people who make MCSD matter. Unfortunately, lately I feel like this humanity has been slipping from this very room. We, the people, have simply become numbers on a screen. All of the numbers thrown around matter so much to the people who stand before you, who are at their second or third jobs right now and can't be here. Because when it comes down to it, yes, giving the people in drop, giving the retirees what you've given tonight is appreciated. However, we don't make the salary to back funding our retirement as it now stands. So I've been here 26 years, almost, I'm going to be 48 years old here. So I am one of those young people who will be retiring with 30 years, perhaps fairly young. But I don't make a livable wage. The cost of living here is much higher than my $55,000 that is only a few thousand more than what that first-year teacher makes. My numbers, 26 years working at 2 MCSD schools. 0, the amount I might receive in health benefits when I retire. 2, the number of jobs I turned down last year because I was so close to that magic number of 30 years. Board members, I hope that when you look back on the self-portrait of your job with Martin County School Board, that you see exactly what you've done to and for the people you serve. I encourage you to make decisions that allow you and yours to look with pride on your legacy. Thank you.
Stephanie Davis Chang, followed by Catherine Spohr.
Hello, good afternoon, Madam Chair, Superintendent Main, board members, and esteemed attendees. Thank you for allowing me to speak on an issue that cuts deeper than just budgets, our worth as educators. My name is Stephanie Davis Chang, and I have been a proud teacher in this district for 5 years. I am a CTE marketing teacher, a Martin County CTE Marketing Teacher of the Year, and a proud mother of a JBHS graduate. Like so many others in this district, I pour my heart and my soul into my students every single day. Teachers are not just employees. We are mentors, guides, and role models who shape the future. We work tirelessly, sacrificing time with our own families to ensure our students succeed. Yet today, we are being treated as nothing more than numbers on a spreadsheet. Cutting our benefits tells us that our dedication and our passion are disposable, that after years of shaping young minds, our well-being simply doesn't matter. I teach my students that word of mouth is the most powerful marketing tool. Right now, word of mouth is spreading fast, and it's what it is saying is this. Martin County School District does not value its teachers. We are already underpaid compared to surrounding districts and states. Many of us, including myself, hold advanced degrees. I hold a master's from FIU in marketing and could easily take our experience and expertise elsewhere. Yet we stay because we believe in our students. We used to believe in this district and in the impact we make. But if this attack on our livelihood continues, then things are going to change. Good teachers will leave, and finding passionate, experienced educators to replace them will not be easy. We are an A-rated school district, but when it comes to valuing and supporting our teachers, this board has earned an F. The educators who have built this district's success deserves more than empty words. We deserve the respect, fair pay, and benefits that we've worked for. If cuts must be made, why not start with the board's own budget? Why are teachers who are already sacrificing so much and be the first to be targeted? Instead of diminishing teacher benefits, I urge you to reassess district spending as a whole. I urge you to do what is right, stand with your teachers, honor your commitments, show us that we are more than just an expense on a balance sheet, because right now, all we're hearing is that we don't matter. And if that message continues, you will watch your best educators walk away. The choice is yours, and the stakes could not be higher. What is your word of mouth saying? Thank you.
Dear Superintendent and board members, this is the third time I've come before you over the course of 3 years, essentially pleading with you regarding the same thing. The circumstances are different, but ultimately the consequences are more of the same. Teacher and staff attrition and retention. Today I'm wearing a shirt that says, "We are Citrus." We say this phrase every day at our school, both our staff and students. I adore my school and my community. Ultimately, our school is more than just a building where people meet to learn things and grow. We are a community together. Our teachers and staff are the ones who make our school what it is for our students and families. We are Citrus. The same could be said of the teachers and staff at every single one of our schools in the district. I can't tell you the number of times over the 9 years I've worked in Martin County that I've asked both different teachers and staff across the district, "How many more years do you have till you retire?" And they will respond, "Oh, so and so many years. I'm trying to get to 30 years, so I'll have my insurance covered," which is usually followed with, "They make more in Palm Beach County, but I'm staying for the insurance." Personally, I can't afford to use the not-so-great district insurance. I need a quality PPO, as my providers and specialists are not covered by your HMO PPO plans. I'm blessed to have a husband with great insurance, and I'm on his plan. So what you are discussing to do with retirement benefits does not directly affect me, but it indirectly affects me. I am standing here, and again, for the coworkers that are to me like family. Your decision affects me because we are a community. The loss of staff that could result in the change of your policies without replacing them with something similar before the June 30th date is going to cause my beloved coworkers across the district to look elsewhere. We just lost someone last week. I found out another friend left, this time surprisingly for St. Lucie County. Now the students at her school are short another amazing teacher. I stay at my school because not only do I love it, I live here, and I want to make a difference in my community. While I know others feel the same, many of them are not in a financial position to do so, as they are nearing retirement age and have planned on this benefit throughout their years of dedication to Martin County. According to Ms. Sessa's HR presentation, which I looked at last week, but you're going to look at it today, since 2021, we have lost 526 instructional staff members, 779 AFSCME staff members, 27 administrators, and 56 pro-tech staff members. Altogether, that is 1,388 staff members. It might be higher now, I don't know. That is not a good number. Each of those numbers is a person. Quite a lot of them were beloved members of our community. While some are our retirees, many of them are people who went to work elsewhere. Thank you for proposing to grandfather in our retirees. However, keeping this benefit for all staff is important. I share the concerns voiced at the last workshop that staff members will either retire early or leave for greener pastures. I'd really like to keep the rest of my coworkers. Providing benefits to staff that encourage longevity, commitment, and investment in our schools benefits all stakeholders, not just staff members. Parents want to send their children to schools where their teachers and staff members are involved, care, and are invested in their schools. At Citrus, we strive to go above and beyond every day. Please show that you are going above and beyond for us and our students. Do everything you can to cut something else and keep our future retirement benefits. Thank you.
Thank you. Missy Campbell.
Hi, I'm Missy Campbell. I'm a retired teacher, and thank you for making that gap because I'm not quite 65, but I will be there soon. I'm a little bit concerned about what this is going to do to the rest of our staff. I appreciate that you're taking care of the retirees because that is what we were promised. And everybody keeps saying in 2015, I signed my first contract in 1984. Okay, it was back then too. It was changed in 2015. So it's not just since 2015. All of us that are sitting here, we were promised this a long time ago. And I think that you're going to have to work on some kind of tiered system. I realize you can't keep paying this for everybody, but we have to show our young teachers and the teachers that we have that we care about them and we want to retain them. There are many ways that you can do that besides just money. A little respect goes a long way, and letting them know how much they're valued is very important. I'm just sharing my little tidbit of information, and I hope you have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you. Alec McIntyre, followed by Carrie McIntyre.
Good evening, Superintendent and school board members. I'm Alec McIntyre. I'm a proud professional educator at Jensen Beach High School. So the workshop a couple weeks ago, I really appreciated a lot of the board sentiments about treating the retirees right, and I think you guys said the right things. One of the things you guys also talked about was, well, I wonder if current teachers are watching. I was here. A lot of my colleagues were, at home looking at it online. But we were, and we are. And I was kind of a little bit thrown off by it tonight. Like, I know at the workshop with the retirees, you guys had public comment from them and processed all of that. So I thought that was kind of a little bit of a curveball. That surprised me. I thought we were going to get some public comment before you guys put that vote. But it sounds like there's still the advertisement things, so perhaps you guys still have time to process this. The county survey about the other counties, I thought that was interesting. And if we're the best about retirement benefits, let's keep it that way. So please don't sacrifice the long-term integrity of the school district for some short-term cuts. To do so would be penny wise and pound foolish. My wife and I are each going on 20 years, 21 years teaching, 19 years in the district. And what are we going to do if these kind of changes go through? I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Carrie McIntyre, followed by Kelly Coleman.
Hi, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak, and this will highly, as my husband mentioned, it will highly affect us. We have been in the district for 20 years, and we are part of the investment plan. I have something I'd like to read from one of my colleagues. She says, I stand before you today with a heavy heart and a deep sense of concern for the teachers who have dedicated their lives to shaping the future of our children. As you consider the decision to take back health insurance for retired teachers, I ask that you reflect on the commitment these educators made to this community. These teachers spent years, sometimes decades, shaping young minds and giving everything they had to ensure that the next generation could succeed. In return, we promised them a sense of security, a promise of health care when they needed it most. It is a promise that should not be broken. Today, I wore black. Many of us wore black. Some may see it as just a color, but for me, it's a symbol of mourning of a broken promise. It is a reflection of the sadness and disappointment felt by many of us in this room and the community we represent. I want to share with you a conversation I had with my 7-year-old daughter this morning as she asked me why I chose to wear black today. She asked, Mom, why are you wearing that color today? I told her that it was because I was upset about the decision that might hurt the people who helped me and my friends learn when we were in school. But why, Mom? She asked again, looking puzzled. I explained, When people work really hard to help others, like teachers do, they should be treated fairly, even after they retire. Taking away their health insurance would make them sad and worried. We don't want that for the people who gave us so much. My daughter thought for a moment and said, "Why is the school board wanting to take away the walkers from the old ladies?" As I realized this conversation was difficult for her to understand, I saw the walker as a symbol of support representing health insurance. Many teachers in this district do not end their service to this district after they retire. They come back because they are invested in Martin County and in the future of Martin County. The promise of health insurance was part of the contract these teachers signed with the district. It's not just a benefit, it's a trust. And a trust, once broken, is very difficult to rebuild. Thank you.
Thank you.
So good evening, Madam Chair, school board members, and Superintendent Michael Main.
Excuse me, you can't do that. You have to sit down. Thank you. You're not going to speak until that is sitting down. I'm turning off the mic. Sit down. No posters. I'm not going to let her speak until the posters are down. Poster down. Please put the poster down. I don't know how many ways to say it. Go ahead.
All right. So I stand before you tonight not just as a teacher, but as a deeply disappointed and frustrated employee of the Martin County School District with 24 years of service to this district. I may live in St. Lucie County, but for all these years, I've commuted to Martin County because I was willing to make sacrifices. Sacrifices that I was told would be rewarded with promises, especially in regard to my health insurance upon retirement. But tonight, I'm here to call out the complete disregard for those promises, specifically the promise I've relied on that now seems to be crumbling before my eyes. Let's talk about what a change in School Board Policy 6560 would mean. To change this policy, the school board needed only a majority vote, would be undermining the hard work and loyalty of dedicated teachers. Over the years, I've watched as St. Lucie County has made incredible strides to compete with Martin County School District. My commute has grown longer, the cost of living has risen. But through it all, I've stayed, banking on the promise that when I retire at 57, I would have health insurance until I'm old enough for Medicare. This was a promise that kept me here, this and only this. But now, here I am, staring down a future with only thinking that has kept me in this district is being stripped away. The school board has consistently broken promises. I have been compelled to speak out 3 times this year, 3, to just get basic answers, to implore you to treat teachers with respect. And yet, with each passing day, I'm left with nothing but empty words and broken trust. So how is it that the school board is constantly asking for sacrifices from us teachers, but never once seems to be willing to make a sacrifice for the sake of us? How does taking away a promise that was made to us show that you value your educators? It doesn't. It shows utter disregard for our commitment, and it's an insult to those of us who have given decades of service to this district. I know my worth. I know what I bring to the table as a veteran teacher. And let me be clear, if I have to go elsewhere, I will. There are many of us in the same position. Teachers who have given everything to Martin County only to be met with betrayal. The question is simple. Why did we stay only for you to take the promise away? It's time to stop attacking teachers. If cuts need to be made, make them in other areas. Stop sending the wrong message time and time again. It's beyond frustrating, and it's damaging to the very foundation of this district. And let's not forget, everyone in this room, we still don't have a contract this year. Think about that. So this is absurd. How do you expect us to feel valued, respected, and motivated to be #1 in the state, which I do believe we could be #1 in the state, with the district that can't even bother to treat us with basic fairness and dignity? And I'm going to say it time and again, enough is enough. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go back to Board member discussion. Does anyone have anything they want to discuss?
So I just wanted to give a quick update to the board. We had a meeting today that was attended by Dr. Miller, Dan Moore, and Mark Howells, that we met with the Martin County Commissioner Sarah Hurd, and the Martin County Black Heritage Initiatives. And I don't know if you all have been yet to the one-room schoolhouse that is located across the street from Murray Middle School. And one of the things that the group wants to create a living history. They've done some work already with some like posters and things. They've had a few events at the schoolhouse, but when Lloyd Jones, who is a retired captain with the Martin County Sheriff's Office, who's really invested in this, he approached me about it and asked how the school district could be involved. And I sent him to the Little Red Schoolhouse down in Palm Beach County. If you've ever been, it's a very, very cool his living historical museum, and the kids go and they get a character, or they're a person who actually attended the school. They follow the same rules, they pack the same lunch, they do the same math problems. It was very impactful for my children. And so when we were talking about it and talking with Mark Cowles about how we could integrate something like that into Martin County, Mark and the superintendent were both very enthusiastic, and I just kind of wanted to share with you all where we were. It would be something that eventually will come to the board if we get to that point. We talked a little bit today about fundraising for the cost of field trips, things like that. So dreaming, we would like it to become something like the Environmental Studies Center that all fourth graders would go. It would be because that's when they learn about Florida history, and they would be learning about the history right here in our community, in the new Monrovia community. And it's really, really exciting. There were a couple of students that were there today, that not our students, but college students that were so passionate about creating living history program for Martin County. There were funders that were there. The school district, the county, everybody is really, really enthusiastic, and I just kind of wanted to share that with you all and know that it'll probably be something that the superintendent will bring back in the future. And if you want to learn more about it, I'm happy to connect you with Lloyd Jones. And the teacher that was the teacher at the one-room schoolhouse, she was there today, and one of the students. So it was really cool to hear their stories, and for our own students to learn what life was like and take on those people and learning about the history, specifically in Martin County, but it'll be general history as well. So it was really exciting. So
Thank you.
it's coming back.
Thank you. Anyone? Board discussion?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I had been talking with Mr. Seacrest about the pool, and it seemed like there was a significant development. I wondered if this might be the appropriate time to let Mr. Seacrest quickly update us on the status of the pool.
We'll do that in reports.
Okay.
Okay,
That'd
thank
be
you.
great.
Roberts, anything? I'm good. Okay. I have two things I would like to share. Number one, we now have a date in June for FSBA Master Board training, and I would like to ask the board to reconsider having it sooner. June is way off, and I think we need to develop as a board together sooner, and that training is really valuable. I got some dates, and I was also told if we did March 13th and 14th, which is a Thursday and a Friday, we could do 4 hours each day. The Thursday could be the afternoon, and the Friday could be the morning. That's one option. That was the only time we could split. And then the other dates available are April 4th, 9th, 10th, and 14th. And I'm asking the board to consider having it sooner than June. And if I'm not sure whether we should pin it down right now or give you a day or so, and then I think it's better to pin it down now and have a little discussion about it, because, as I said, I think June is too far out. I think we need to collaborate now, so I'm asking the board to weigh in and tell me what they could do.
Good idea. I'm available in March, the first date.
It would be the 13th and the 14th. We could do like a 12 to 4 on the Thursday, and then the 14th, we could do like 8 to 12, and that would be our 8 hours.
Madam Chair, I'm not available any of those times. I share your sentiment. I did schedule out for the June one to attend, but if you can come up with some other dates, I'd consider, but none of those that you've mentioned I could make, unfortunately.
Okay, well, those are the only dates that we can get April Griffith. If we want to get someone else, I would like the board to weigh in on that, because we can't wait till June. We need to do it sooner.
Who are the other trainers?
I think Carol and Tina Pinkerson? Do you want to?
I mean, you can get, I'm fine getting some dates. I would only be available on the dates that you gave is the March 13th and 14th, but I have an 11:30 meeting on the 14th, so I would have to be, so we could maybe do 5 hours, but
Right.
if
Well,
Brian can't make it, so
Yeah,
if we
the
can get
value
additional
is having
dates.
all of
Yeah.
the members. So do you want to talk about Tina or Carol doing?
So what does your schedule usually look like? I know that you work.
Yeah, I mean,
so-
I'm booked out for months, unfortunately. I did book out that June date and actually turned down something else to make that June date, but I understand the sentiment of the board. I really would like to be there, and I can be there on that June date, so I guess it's up to you guys to decide.
So do you have any dates in the next couple months before June, or?
Yeah, I mean,
is that the
I could
only-
look at that,
Yeah,
all
so
right?
why don't
but
we start there?
Everything presented, I cannot make.
Sure.
Could you possibly give the dates you are available before June to Diane, so that I have something to work with the other trainers? And could
Sure.
you do that like as soon as possible? I'd really appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. The next thing I want to discuss is you all received an email discussing the December 3rd opinion and Sarasota decision regarding the Boys and Girls Club of Martin County and their wish to have us change our policy to incorporate what they would like. And I would like to know if we have any further discussion on it. Is there anyone who wants to say anything about it?
I'd like to see that on a future agenda. If,
We need consensus to do that.
right, that's me. I'm one.
So I go back to what I originally said when this was brought to us, very much like the original lease with the Boys and Girls Club and how that was done. Was the board said, board chair, superintendent, go to their CEO and their people and get our attorneys together. We need to understand all of the ramifications of a decision and an exception, because there's two pieces here. There is the request to amend the lease, which cannot be done, and if we want to move forward with a request to amend the lease, we have to amend our policy. So there are two parts to that. But as I've been talking to the superintendent and we've been getting additional information, we need to know what, to make a really good decision, we need to know what the ramifications are for the school district. So what does that mean for our own insurance? What does that mean for sovereign immunity? What does that mean for so many factors that I think that the negotiation and the conversation should, and I mean, if there's not consensus to move forward, then the superintendent has the policy. And we're not going to change it, or there's not consensus to change it, then, but I don't know that we have enough information to say, oh, this is a definitive no, because we don't truly understand. And I don't want to, I'm not really ready to say no until we have all the information. So if there's, I know that the superintendent has had conversations with Terry Harmon. I don't know that he's even had time to really reach out and talk about with our liability insurance coverage. There's so many factors that go into it that I think I would like to task the superintendent and the board chair with bringing all that information back to us so that we can make that decision and then decide, hey, we need to bring this to a future meeting, or the superintendent can act on it. If we decide not to change the policy, he has the authority to act on that current policy.
I think we need more information, and I think that being tasked with the superintendent and our lawyers to figure out what is right before we make any decisions is the best way to go.
Ms. Roberts? And I thought that's what we said in November. I thought in November we had said that if it was going to go anywhere, it would be the board chair and the superintendent to talk to the attorney and figure out whether it needs to go anywhere. Quite personally, I'll give you my opinion. I mean, I think it's a law for a reason. I'm not interested in, and I could change, and of course, whatever the board decides to do, I would support whatever the board wanted to do, but I kind of feel like it's a law for a reason. I think it's not just whether we can find a loophole or a way around something. I think when you're talking about serving alcohol and tying alcohol to the name of the Martin County School District, there's some optics that we need to be concerned about, and there's some precedent we need to be concerned about. So even if it is somebody who is leaving a Martin County school property, like even now, somebody who went to a show at a high school and leaves the property and has an unfortunate accident, and it is found that they have a high either drug or alcohol content, et cetera. And if we weren't, I don't want to say complicit, but if we had no involvement in it, if we know for a fact that, no, it did not happen on our property, our policy, the way the state does, the state says you can't do it. We also have reiterated that you can't do it. We've looked at this. We've said that this isn't something we're interested in doing. I think that's a lot easier than doing a tap dance and whistle to try to explain, yeah, but they've got insurance, so it's not going to be a liability to us. And yeah, the guy really wasn't drinking on our property. He was drinking somewhere else. I mean, I just think once the optics go out there, I think it puts us in a position where we're having to backpedal and having to do that. I also think that, I know, for example, I think it's a library foundation that has done Bookmania in the past at Jensen Beach High School. I know that we've had other entities that have come forward that have used our facility that have always known you're not having any alcohol there, and if that means you're going to have to go somewhere else, you're going somewhere else. I know that we have a lease in the works with the Martin County Council for the Arts for them to refurbish the old Stewart High School on East Ocean Boulevard where we used to meet. And I think that as we find exceptions and loopholes to do things, I think we need to look at what that looks like for everything, because I think that what that puts us in a position where, well, you did it for them, we're just about the same as they are, and you should do it for us. And I think that I'm not sure that's a road that I personally want to go down. I mean, but I think if the appropriate place for it to go is for the chair and the superintendent to gather whatever information that they need to gather to bring us back. If we're going to have a workshop, I guess we can share all this information again at a workshop and decide what to do.
I don't necessarily think that we need to have the discussion again at the workshop. I think that the chair and the superintendent need to have the conversations. They need to gather all the information and facts that we need to do and bring a recommendation to the board, and we'll make a decision. Or not. It's the superintendent has the authority to make a decision now. Now, if the consensus of the board is that, to me, he right now should deny the lease amendment, because that's what our policy says. Now, I think once we have the information, if there's consensus at that point to bring the policy forward, Now, that's different. That is a different way that we as a board would then act on that, is to review the policy.
Superintendent?
Yes, ma'am. So I have some of the information that I need. I'm waiting for the rest of it. Those conversations have been taking place. The policy currently, as Mrs. Powers stated, is currently that alcohol is not to be served on any of our campuses, so I uphold the policy. If there is a way to navigate this without the policy, then that's the avenues that I'm exploring right now with legal counsel. If legal counsel has an avenue around the policy to do it legally, then that is what you and I will discuss and bring forward to the board for a decision, or we will make the decision to, as is being discussed tonight. So I just have one or two more key pieces of information that I need to get for you and I to sit and thoroughly be able to discuss it. I think we're close.
Okay, so at this time, we are just going to wait for future information. The superintendent and the attorney and I will discuss it, and if we can bring it forward in a way that is legal and right for all of us, that's what we'll do. So at this time, we're just going to wait until we have further information. Okay, thank you.
I just want to be clear in my mind, just from the training that I've had, is that you have the laws of the state of Florida, then you have school board policy, and then from there, then you have other things that you can do. But in order for us, if we have something explicitly said in policy, a loophole doesn't allow us to work around the policy. I just want to understand that that is the understanding. Is that correct?
Well, I agree with you how the hierarchy of how the laws and policies go. I 100% agree with you. And I think where that comes in is that there have been other school districts that have done that. And I'm okay if the superintendent comes back to us and the board chair and say, we're just creating a loophole, that this is not best practice or whatever that may be. I'm okay with that, but we need to know that, because we have gotten a request from one of our long-standing partners in the community, and I think that we should honor that and do our due diligence, get all the information that we can, and then as a board, we make that decision based on the information that we have, the thorough information. But I do agree with you on that hierarchy of statute, trumps policy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Which is complicating the matter. But I do also want to say that the reason why, remind the board that the reason why this came forward was because the Boys and Girls Club were requesting to have a fundraiser in December, which was very close and out of order with when we were going to be able to naturally have our next board meeting for a decision, requiring us to call a special board meeting, which was, in my opinion, not appropriate for their timing of their event. The second request is being brought forward because of fundraisers wanting to be have again in March, which again goes against the timing of what we have laid out to be able to make these decisions. While I'm not opposed to those fundraisers, I don't believe that I'm not going to put myself in a situation, nor the board in a situation to rush a decision without all the information to make their deadline of a fundraiser, I guess is if I'm being completely transparent and open and honest. So when I'm ready to be able to bring that forward with the board chair to the board, a decision will be made at that time.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to recognition 13.01, 2024 Stock Market Game Winners, 2025 Mensa Excellence in Reading Award, Mark Cowles.
Good evening, Superintendent Main, Madam Chair, members of the board, members of the Martin County community. I'm Mark Cowles, coordinator of Martin County School District. At this time, I'm going to bring up two awesome educators, Kimberly Anderson and Angela Jameson from Crystal Lake Elementary, and they're going to talk about some awesome and patient hawks and honor what they did in the areas of financial literacy and reading. So come on up, please.
Good evening. Kimberly Anderson from Crystal Lake, and we're here to celebrate the accomplishment of Leo Bonadeo, Matthew Talton, and Wyatt Wiggins. These students are the winning team of the Spring 24 Stock Market Game for Florida South Elementary Division. They learned about companies, businesses, corporations that provided goods and services. They learned about the distinctions between private and public entities, shares, stocks, ticker symbols, and the New York Stock Exchange. They invested a virtual $100,000 in the live stock market game throughout the simulation. And throughout the session, the teams are continuously ranked, with our school's teams competing with other elementary age teams from Orlando to Key West. At the end of the 4-month session, the team with the highest portfolio gains is declared winner, and this is the winning team. In addition to winning, yay. In addition to winning, these boys have acted as advisors to this year's 4th grade teams. So if you need any stock tips, these students are enthusiastic about their knowledge of the market, and they convince their teacher to compete against us this year.
Awesome. Thank you. Congratulations. Can we get a picture? Okay.
Hello. Oh, my name's Angela Jameson. I'm the 3rd grade gifted teacher at Crystal Lake Elementary, and I'd like to introduce Leo Sarek right here. Let me give you a little bit of background briefly if you're not familiar with the Mensa Foundation. It is a nonprofit organization that supports gifted people and intelligence research. The foundation's mission is to advance intelligence and benefit society. Now, the Mensa Reading for Excellence program is under that umbrella of the Mensa program, of the Mensa Foundation, and it invites readers of all ages to explore expertly curated lists of classic literature. These lists, inspired by the National Endowment for the Humanities, includes timeless works that offer profound insights into the human experience and cultivate critical thinking. Now, Leo, I have the list for K through 3, and this list includes 63 of those curated books, which are great children's literature, 18 of which is what I call grit books, and they're chapter books, which might include Charlotte's Web, The Cricket in Times Square, The Mouse and the Motorcycle, Little House on the Prairie. We're talking great children's literature. Leo is only the 2nd student, to my knowledge, in CLE history to ever complete all 63 of those books. So it is a huge accomplishment. Leo has grit, and the neat thing is he was 5 books short going into 4th grade. Mrs. Anderson found something that I wasn't even aware of. If he read 5 nonfiction books at his level, they could plug in for some of the missing nonfiction books, which he did. So while I'm bragging on Leo, I do need to give a shout out to his mom and dad, Mr. and Mrs. Sarek. I'm just telling you, myself as a teacher, and I'm going to just speak for probably every teacher, thank you for being the parents you are. You have either eliminated, limited, or monitored social media, screen time, video games, telephone usage, and the reason I know that is because this young man could not have read 63 books if he had spent his time on a couch with a phone. So thank you, Mr. Sarek and Leo. This is my desire for you. Okay, as you continue your reading adventure, between the cover of every great book, you are going to meet new friends. You're going to go to exciting places, and you're going to have fabulous adventures. So I hope that the 4th through 6th levels continues all through high school. You can keep reading. No, don't moan. Look forward to it, buddy. and just continue the adventure. And thank you again, Sarix, for your help. He couldn't have done it without you, so thank you.
Okay, we now have a presentation, Avid District Leadership Review, Danielle Farrell.
Congratulations to the teachers at Crystal Lake too. Just want to thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, congratulations.
They can't do it without you.
Good evening, Madam Chair Pritchett, school board members, Superintendent Main, esteemed colleagues and guests. My name is Danielle Farrell, and I serve as the Coordinator of Innovation and Choice and the Avid District Director for the Martin County School District. And with me tonight is my colleague,
Kristen Register. I'm an instructional coach in professional learning and the co-district director.
So tonight we're going to provide you with a very brief snapshot of what Avid has brought to the Martin County School District and give you some insight to our future plans. So as most of you are aware, Avid is a system that is incorporated into our schools, and it's an acronym. Avid stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And it's how we find that inner drive in students to be successful and encourage them to be the best that they can be and be future ready. We have a framework. Avid provides us with the tools, the structures, everything that we need to be successful, not only as systems that happen in our school, but breaks it down to educator behaviors and student behaviors. Our educators must do certain things to ensure our students' success. And our learning journey with our educators helps to ensure that they do what they need to do in order for students to be successful. It's represented in this college and career readiness framework, which in our Avid schools, we use this to guide our work. It guides everything that we do in our school. If we're doing something and it doesn't fit into the framework, we need to ask ourselves, well, why are we doing this? Is this what's best for kids? Some interesting data for you, because I know we all love some good data. We pulled the top A-rated school districts in the state of Florida. We looked a little deeper as to those 22 school districts that how many of them are Avid? How many of them are implementing college and career readiness systems for their students? 10 out of the 22 A-rated school districts. I'm sorry, 10 out of the 22 A-rated school districts are Avid, 45%. When we looked deeper into the Avid school districts, we thought, wow, look how many have grown from a B to an A. That is our goal as well. And you have 6 out of the 10 in the last 2 years that have brought their grades up to an A from a B. And that is our journey and our vision, and we're happy to have Avid with us to help us get there. We're going to be there, right up on that chart next year. So we've had Avid for 8 years in the school district, and here's just a little snapshot of the 11 schools that are current Avid schools. You will see that we have schools that have been here since the beginning, Martin County High School and Anderson. Then you see that we've created a tiered support here of how many years the school has been with us and the support that we push in. We're in a building phase right now with Avid. We've had it for 8 years. It's been a journey, and now in my new role, and with Kristen helping me lead the way, we're taking all the pieces and the parts that help students be future ready and aligning them to a common culture. We're aligning them to a common vision so that all schools can help all students with whatever their goals are. We are 100% implemented right now with our traditional secondary schools. And as you can see, we have 3 elementary schools right now that are Avid. So here's a couple pieces that are really important for us to celebrate when we look at what Avid has done for our students. When we take a look and see in the Avid elective that happens at our secondary schools, how students are graduating and what they're graduating with. Are they ready for their futures? 98% of our Avid elective graduates are ready for college. They've met the college requirements, and that's something for us to celebrate. We also look at attendance, and we're seeing that the Avid elective students are attending school a bit more frequently than students that are not in the Avid elective. 3% higher rate on that. And I think something to really shout out is dual enrollment. Our Avid elective students, 32% of them currently have completed a dual enrollment class. That means they're getting a step ahead on their future. That is up 22% in 1 year. It's something to celebrate, because in the Avid elective, that is where our students receive the support they need for that rigorous academic work that they're being faced with. We're really proud of that. As well as 100% of our administrators right now are trained in the Avid systems. So we're starting to build this common culture and language for success across our school district. A first-time honor for us in the Martin County School District is to celebrate Port Salerno Elementary, as they have achieved their school grade, as we know, and it has increased that from a D to a B. Avid is honoring them as a national showcase school. This is a first-time honor, and we congratulate Principal Gifford and her entire staff and the students for all the hard work that they put in really looking at what do I need to be a successful learner and working hard to become that. So we invite you to join us at their national showcase on March 4th in the morning at Port Salerno. Yay! So here's the future. The future with Avid is bright. We are pairing Avid with acceleration for our students. By 2030, our goal is to have all traditional Martin County schools become Avid schools with the goal that all students graduate college and career ready. How are we going to achieve that and how are we going to measure it? Is that our goal is that every high school student graduates with an acceleration credit and a head start on life. We also are looking at 8th grade students. We would love for them to leave middle school with an acceleration credit for high school to get a head start. And then breaking it down to our elementaries, when we look at 5th grade students and their ELA proficiency, we're aiming at 62%. We've done some research and realized that A school districts, that's a sweet number for them. So of course we would like that to be higher, but that's going to be our measurement to know that we are accelerating our learners with the Avid supports. Alignment. Really quick, you have an attachment and you'll see there's an Avid one-pager. And I broke it down for you to show you that where we're headed as a district and our themes for our strategic plan are all aligned to this college and career readiness. Avid can help us get there. It's more than future readiness. Avid helps us align the work that we do every day in schools to the work that we want to do as a school district as a whole.
Something unique about Avid is that in the summer we go to what's called a summer institute. It's more than a professional learning conference. It's composed of these communities of practice. They actually have 47 of them that are very specific and targeted to the teachers' needs who attend. And there's a whole time set aside for the teams from the schools to do work around how their Avid work connects to their SIP goals and like start doing that work in the summer. So it's pretty amazing opportunity for our teachers and staff. And in fact, we would like to invite you to come. It's on June 17th and sit side by side with an educator and experience it for yourself. So if you're available, let Danielle know so we can expect you.
It is a school board meeting date, sorry. We hope you can still come. It's in Orlando. You can make it back on time.
yeah,
Okay, so basically, in summary, this is what's next for Avid. We're looking at a multi-year contract this year. We've never done this before. And the reason why is because this 4-year, multi-year contract will align with the funding that's provided to Avid from millage. So with the millage renewal for the next 4 years, we have Avid being funded through that. In 4 years, our goal is to have every one of our schools Avid, our traditional schools. So we have 9 elementary schools that we're looking to onboard over the course of the next 3 years, 3 schools a year. And then it would just be a continuous building of the culture to ensure students are supported in their learning as they accelerate and get ready for the world to come in front of them. We know we can do it. It's all gas, no brakes. We can do it with Avid, and Avid is the way to go. So if you have any questions, you want to talk further about this, I love talking about Avid. So please reach out, and we are more than happy to give you some more information. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, so I had a few questions for you, and I have been twice to the summer session that was in Orlando, and I think it is really nice. My question is, so the people who are going to the summer session, at the teams, the school teams that are going, is it the same people going every year, or is it new people going every year?
It's a mixture of both, to be honest with you. If we have an Avid elective teacher, there is 3 years that they go so that they learn Avid elective 1, 2, and 3. Because the goal would be that they loop with their students. So if I'm a 9th grade Avid elective teacher, I'm going to go to 10th grade with my Avid students in 11 and 12. So they could go as much as 4 years. All of our administrators have been trained, so we're not looking this year to send administrators again. We want to make sure we have a foundation of that. And our site, each Avid school, the 11 of them, have a site coordinator. So that site coordinator usually attends 1 to 2 years to make sure that they can lead the work happening at their schools. We also don't send first-year teachers. We're strategic to make sure that we're sending teachers that are experienced so that they can take what they learn from Avid and just continue their journey of professional learning. So it's a combination.
Okay, and my other questions are, you have 32% of the educators that are Avid trained.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that when I was in the one in Orlando, one of them, they talked about how they will come to your district and not charge you to come here to do the training here. So I was wondering, as you're doing this and as you're expanding, you know, I mean, I know this has been for 8 years now. I don't know in your educator list of training in your initial schools, which would be Anderson and Martin County High School, what the percentage is of those teachers trained in Avid. And I know that it's not just the elective teachers who need to be trained.
Right.
It's since it is a change in school culture. So I guess my question is there a plan for how you're going to up that 32%? And can you provide us with some numbers that show us by school the percentage of educators that are trained in each of those schools as you're talking about tiers or cohorts? So that's one question.
Okay.
The second question is, you tell me that there's 32% of Avid High School elective students that completed a dual enrollment class. So then that begs the question of how many Avid High School elective students are there? So if you can get me that information that says, for example, we have, say, 4,000 students that are in high school. If the Avid elective students, what is that number? Is it 1,000 children in Avid elective, or is it 100 students in Avid elective? You know, what is that number? And then as you're looking at 32, are we looking also at expanding two numbers? One, the number of people taking the Avid elective, and then two, the percentage of those people to move it up beyond 32. So those are my 3 questions. If you could address those and send the information, I think probably the rest of the board would be interested in as well.
Or you could come back and
Yeah, I can send it to you via email. Right now, we have 1,600 students plus registered in the Avid elective course, which is our secondary. So this is grades 6 through 12. 1,000 of those students represent our minority subgroups. I will get you the high school numbers specifically as Tisha Freeman works on my team, and I can get you the dual enrollment numbers for that and give you that information. As far as every site coordinator of their school knows who is trained on their campus as we keep detailed records. The 32% represents lots of movement. We even keep track of movements of teachers. So if they're moving from school to school, they're still trained. But if they leave the district, that's how our numbers have gotten down due to teacher turnover and such. So
Right, and I guess where I'm going with this is, you know, we do really well in the district of bringing new projects and new initiatives on. And as we're looking at AVID as an 8-year history to it, and as we're expanding AVID, and as we have the ability to have the funding for that, and I know that as we look hard at the budget, one of the things we're looking at is return on investment.
Right.
And we're looking for student-centered activities. So I think those type of numbers will give us some idea, and if we have some idea from you as to what your plan is for how you're getting to whatever your next goals are, that will help us.
yes, I've included that in the attachments that I sent you in the next 4 years, what the pricing would be and what the tiered structure of how many people from each school would attend AVID based on their implementation year. So in the first 2 years of new schools, we send 6 people each year. So all those new elementaries will have 12 people, 18 people attending each year. I do have prices also for you, what it costs, because it does cost money to bring them on site. We would think like we would save a lot of money bringing them here, but we have to guarantee in one scenario 100 people. We only have an option to bring like 5 communities of practice here, where if they go away, they get 47. They miss the energy and the vibe and of the AVID session, but it would cost us about $110,000 to bring it in. And it would have to be done in the first 2 weeks of the summer because AVID's Summer Institute schedule fills up their summer. So it's not.
Oh, because when I was talking to them, they would do it not necessarily during the summer piece. They were available to come to your school. But
Yes.
I don't want to take up a whole lot of
No,
time here, but at the
yes.
same time, I just want to say,
Okay.
thank you for the information about
We
the
can
investment.
talk about all the options. I'm
The
happy to-
investment part. I'm looking for the
Yes.
return part now. That's
Right.
the other
And
side
that,
of
right,
return.
I totally agree. We are building teachers' capacity and giving them more strategies to help student learning. So like the higher our graduation rates go, AVID helps all that work.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
So can I just ask a couple questions? So I guess I'm really interested in seeing the data on the schools that have been in the program over 5 years. So Indiantown, and I know we showcased Port Salerno, that's 4 years, but Anderson, Martin County, Indiantown Middle. And I, like Ms. Roberts, I'm kind of interested to see how the number of students dual enrolling compared to like the whole, and how that has progressed over the years. So has AVID been the encouragement for students to go into dual enrollment? Because we should be able to see that when AVID started in the number of students. So I'm kind of interested, but I'm interested in any data we can get on the 4 schools that have been in the program over 5 years.
Sounds
And
good.
where their grades have gone, how their data stacks up comparatively.
Okay, we can pull that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
again, I think what I want to emphasize with the board is the lack of consistency that has occurred over the last 8 years in implementation and fidelity of AVID. We've been an AVID district for 8 years, but when I go around the district and we visit schools with the team, there's very little evidence of AVID until just the last couple of years recently. So I appreciate that request for data because we need to show from the time we ramped up to re-bring this back forward again to say if we're saying we're AVID, we need to be AVID. And the quest to be 100% AVID district-wide. So there has been inconsistencies, but that is the role of Danielle and the team and her position to change that inconsistency with the administrators to be consistent in the use of throughout every single school.
So does the AVID elective account as a acceleration?
The AVID elective right now is not an honors course, but by having the AVID elective, the student is enrolled in something else. So what we're saying is AVID and what? So what acceleration course is the student enrolled in that AVID elective is going to support them to be successful? AVID is right now in talks with the state to have their AVID elective course in 11th and 12th grade be an honors level course so that the weighted GPA is a bit higher. Because we do get resistance that students don't want an on-level course, and that's where we run into some issues with the AVID elective. But AVID is realizing that, and they're working on it with the state. So I'm hopeful that that'll change for us next school year.
Thank you. And I appreciate your comments, Superintendent Main. I have heard from some teachers, which is why I ask about the data and some of the acceleration, is that I've heard some feedback that we're pushing students into AVID that really aren't ready for AVID or probably shouldn't be taking a dual enrollment class, or, I just want to be careful that we're just not pushing kids to take an acceleration when they're not truly ready, because then it sets them up to fail, and which it's a spiral. So I just want to, it sounds like things are changing, and I appreciate that. And so I'll be interested to see, because we should be able to see that in the data as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for that feedback. We've been working hard to make it very clear, like, who is the AVID student and who is not, and that goes back to the acronym Advancement via Individual Determination. We do not want to schedule kids in the AVID elective that don't want to be there, because that's how AVID gets branded as a remediation course and not an acceleration course. So we're working hard to rebrand that with our teachers inside our school community and outside of our school community as to what it really is. And so that's part of our work, and we need to do it correctly for the benefit of the students.
Well, and for the benefit of the entire class, because when you have students that you put in an AVID elective that do not want to be there, they're disrupting the rest of the class a lot of times, and that really puts a burden on our teachers as well. So I just want to be careful that we're implementing it the way with fidelity and the way it should be. So it sounds like we're on the right track. So thank you.
We have an interest form, so if the student's not interested in that first form, we are not going to follow through with enrolling them. So that is a common practice that we're putting forth as we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move on, I would like to recognize some people in the audience. We have Jerry Batari from J.D. Parker. He has been named the interim the interim principal at J.D. Parker. Welcome, and his family. Thank you so much for taking the charge and doing this in the interim, and we really appreciate it, and we want to thank you. And then thank you to your family.
I was going to say, she almost gave you a really big promotion.
Yes, I caught myself.
Madam Chair, if I may, thank you for that. I had some things that I wanted to quickly, I know it's been a long night, but Mr. Batari is taking the opportunity to step up into that role as we have a principal who's going out on leave. And we've also added to that dynamic duo Dr. Vanessa Mudo, who is our current coordinator of student services that is going out to the school to be the assistant principal in place of Dr. Batari or Greg. And I will tell you, Greg, yes, Greg, it's okay. I will tell you, Greg has been a principal in New York for over 23 years. He retired and came here to the Martin County School District to join us as an assistant principal. So this is just getting on the bike again and riding it down the street. But the amount of momentum that Greg and Vanessa have brought to J.D. Parker in just the week that they've been there has been incredible. The stuff that you're putting out there, the things that you're emailing me and updating me on are student-focused, student-driven, and the urgency that I'm expecting in our administrators is there, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, and thank you for the family who has come to support them. And I know Dr. Mudo, your husband, was here. I don't know if I see him, but thank you, because the spouses and the family are who we owe a debt of gratitude to because of the time that we spend away from our families. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you both.
And I also want to recognize and introduce Dana Palera, who is our new, stand up, Dana, there you go, our new principal of Anderson Middle School. tonight's board meeting has been heavy. That's not normal, but I will, because families are here, and I will tell you there are cycles and seasons to our board meetings, and tonight was one of those board meetings. But I promise you, you are joining one of the best school districts in the state of Florida. I firmly believe that. Our staff believes that, and I know that when you walked through our doors and you interviewed for that position, you brought that energy to the interview, and the entire interview, both panels were 100% unanimous in their selection of you as the next principal. Dana has served proudly for 6 years as the principal of New Horizons Academy, wanted to get that right, in Wellington, and she lives in Stewart and has been driving for 6 years. But we are honored and proud to bring you on our team here in the Martin County School District and welcome you into the family, and we know you're going to do a great job, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for waiting. Okay, we will now have Lana Barros, Career and Technical Education Month.
So good evening, Madam Chair Pritchett, school board members, Superintendent Main, esteemed colleagues, and community members. My name is Lana Barros, and I'm the proud Director of Innovation and Choice. And tonight, I'm joined with Ms. Jessica Warren, our CTE coach for the district, and we're here to officially recognize February as Career and Technical Education Month, and to express to you our gratitude for your continued support of our high-quality career academies and K-12 awareness opportunities across our district. I'm happy to report that CTE is thriving in the Martin County School District. Our small but dedicated team coordinates all the curriculum, supplemental resources, equipment, professional learning, and materials for our 57 CTE teachers across 146 unique course codes. CTE courses require extensive department collaboration and co-elevation, and we work closely with our educational technology department, where we have 50 confidentiality agreements and unique resources for students. We work closely with our facilities and safety team, ensuring that all of our classrooms meet the state safety regulations and are equipped for our state-of-the-art equipment. This entire team is supportive of our multifaceted CTEs, and with all of them represented here, I look at them all, and we've worked collaboratively on many projects to ensure our students are safe. They have their risk insurance and all of the transportation needs and unique demands of CTE programs for our students. We work closely with industry and workforce partners, ensuring that all of our CTE programs meet industry expectations and lead to local high-demand careers. We're incredibly proud of our many accomplishments, and most importantly, we're proud of our students and our teachers who lead them every day. 75% of our high school students sitting in Martin County right now have taken at least one CTE course. 73 of our current sitting seniors hold an industry credential, so that is very exciting. And those credentials last year totaled 2,377, and so far this year we have 1,120. And those credentials do sustain the programs because they bring back funding into our school district. So we're very proud of that. We haven't got the report from this year, but we think we may have met the $1 million mark, so we're proud of that too. Through our winning of the Workforce Capitalization Grant, we have been able to fund a position for a workforce coach, and in the last 5 months, we've been able to spend down over $1 million in grant funding that we secured, coordinating the installation of cutting-edge equipment and software in our classrooms. This team has helped do a lot of that, so thank you. We also want to thank that you've added a coordinator to our team. Her role oversees AVID implementation, K-12 college career readiness planning, and all accelerated learning pathways district-wide. This structural shift is activating our district strategic plan across all acceleration pathways, not just CTE. As we celebrate Career and Technical Education Month, I want to remind you that behind every CTE success, there's intentional planning, barrier breaking, and relentless pursuit of student achievement happening every day. CTE changes lives, ultimately equips our students to make impact locally, regionally, and globally. Attached to the agenda item, you'll find our guidebook that describes every single one of our unique programs and all of the benefits attached to them.
you will see our CAPE strategic plan and how we have tasks in place that we complete regularly every year to ensure our students have success. I've attached President Trump's declaration of CTE month, and since the agenda dropped, our governor has also put out a proclamation for CTE month. We invite you to contact us to schedule a tour of our classrooms, come meet our outstanding teachers, and see firsthand how our students are developing into the future-ready graduates you want for our district. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, now we have Citrus Grove Elementary Community Partnership with Mattamy Homes of Newfield, Rosanna Rinka, and Ike Crumpler. And James, I forgot your last name. Fitzgerald. Welcome.
I just wanted to introduce everybody really quickly. Thank you so much, Board. Thank you for your service to our community, these difficult issues. We appreciate all that you do supporting our teachers and students and their families. It's been a real pleasure to have the opportunity to work with Mattamy Homes and team up with our neighboring school, and that's Citrus Grove Elementary. Citrus Grove Elementary. Thank you. So I almost reverted back to when my daughter went to Crystal Lake Elementary. But anyways, thank you so much. We just wanted to share some of what we've done. James Fitzgerald is the project lead on Newfield. And of course, you know Rose Fresena, she's our principal. Thank you.
Mrs. Pritchett, can you tell me which agenda item they are, please?
Sure. It is 1403.
Okay, perfect.
Here. Good evening, School Board Chair, Ms. Pritchett, Superintendent, Mr. Main, and school board members. My name is James Fitzgerald. I work with Mattamy Homes, and I've had the responsibility of bringing the Newfield project in Palm City to fruition. I'm here today to express our gratitude to the Martin County School District, and in particular, the great neighbor that we found in Citrus Grove Elementary School. Mattamy Homes has been proud to partner with Principal Rinta and her team on a variety of activities that aim to enhance educational opportunities and support the growth and development of the students at Citrus Grove. Just last month, and for the second year in a row, we had the privilege of hosting the Go Green Club for Florida Arbor Day at the newest trailhead at the Kiplinger Conservancy, where the club members planted 24 slash pines with the assistance of the Newfield Farm team. Then in May, we were excited to have the opportunity to be a part of the award for the greatest of all time, or GOAT, readers, where Citrus Grove's voracious readers had the opportunity to lead actual goats on a 2-mile goat walk at our Casey Trails. You can see in the pictures there. So, based on how much it seems that the kids enjoyed that, as well as the feedback that we've received at our farmers markets, we're hopeful that we have the opportunities to participate in more goat walks in the future. And over the holidays, which I think Rose is going to touch on, we had the opportunity to partner together on a beautification project that consisted of some landscape and irrigation improvements. So, do you want to take it away?
Yes, thank you. I'm so happy to have partnered with Newfield and Mattamy Homes. And for a long time on Citrus Boulevard, which is now called Newfield Parkway, it was just us, Citrus Grove Elementary, on that long stretch of road. But each night and each morning I would go by Newfield and I would see this beautiful trees being put in and landscaping, and I reached out to Ike and James and said, would you have any interest in doing a beautification project here at Citrus Grove? And they jumped on it. And I wanted to thank you, Dr. Miller and Brian Desarusso. They jumped forward and made sure that our sprinkler systems were working so they could install this wonderful front entrance for us at Citrus Grove, and right at the front of our building outside the principal's office and on the media center side is a wonderful new landscaping. They took our original plans that were designed when Citrus Grove opened, so they followed those plans almost to a T and replaced a lot, and the sprinklers were there to make sure that they were running each night and the plants are looking strong. I just want to thank community members and parents at Citrus Grove for all that they do. and especially tonight with Madam E. Holmes in Newfield. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rose. And so lastly, in terms of things that we've had going on recently, we had the Tortoise Trot, and I think we had 9 high school students that were participants from 3 different high schools in the county attend. So we appreciate the support, and it's really nice just having that type of participation. So I wanted to just kind of, in closing, just say as a company that Madam E strives to have a positive impact in all the communities that we have the privilege to become a part of, and we thank you for giving us a chance to do that. I think that the idea for Newfield, which over a long time was refined and perfected through public outreach to ensure that the final product reflected the priorities of the community. We recognize that we have a responsibility in the sense that we're bringing this to life. And we look forward to Newfield providing fun and educational experiences for students, teachers, and families now and in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we are now moving on to reports. We have our student representative, Amira Mahan, is taking Jamie Paulson's place today. I welcome you and thank you. And you may begin.
Okay, so good evening, sample of the human race. Anyway, I'll have the news for Jensen Beach High School. So Jensen Beach High School Jazz Band earned straight superior ratings at the FBA District 13 Jazz MPA on Tuesday, February 4th. This is the 18th year that Jensen Beach High School has earned this top rating. The American Sign Language Honor Society has returned to Jensen Beach Elementary to teach more ASL to 4th and 5th graders. The students are showing incredible leadership and empathy while the students are so engaged by older students. The Jensen Beach High School Key Club is partnering with the Jensen Beach High School Leadership Class and Junior Achievement to plan and teach financial literacy lessons to all the K-2 classes at Felix A. Williams Elementary. Our members will be attending trainings this month. Well, at least Key Club, that's what they said. Their members will be attending trainings this month. The AFJROTC has been visiting the Harrison Assisted Living Facility and participating in many community events such as the Baton Death March, the Young Eagles Fly, and operating the parking at the Women's Club Garden Expo. They will also be celebrating their military ball at the end of the month. Now on to South Fork High School, which is by far definitely the superior Martin County school. I'm biased though. But anyway, the South Fork girls weightlifting team took home 2 team trophies and multiple medals in the district finals at Suncoast High School. The girls battled their way to a second place finish in both the Olympic and traditional categories. The Olympic finishers are a freshman, Sierra Delano, second place, sophomore, Kirsten Whetstone, second place, sophomore, Roxy Avelia, and I'll try my best, Avellaneda. I'll try. I hope I didn't butcher that. Third place, and then freshman Kara O'Brien, 4th place. Senior Jamie Paulson, 2nd place. Sophomore Nikayla Mays, 4th place. And senior Marley Doherty, 2nd place. Freshman Maya Gaston, 3rd place. And senior Bailey Burrier, 1st place, district champion. Traditional finishers are Kirsten Whetstone, 2nd place. Kira O'Brien, 1st place, district champion. Roxy Avellaneda, 3rd place. Jamie Paulson, 1st place, district champion. Nikayla Mays, 4th place. Marley Doherty, 3rd place. Alicia Van Derlip, 4th place. Grayson Adams, 4th place. And Bailey Burrier, 2nd place. The Bulldog, our FFA Florida Culture team, competed in the preliminary contest on January 28th, placing 14th overall in the state and qualifying for the state finals in March. The state qualifying team members are Cheyenne York, ranked 11th place in the state individually, Sophia Emerson, Paige Gray, and Sophia Morantes. The Lady Bulldog soccer team won a district title by beating Jensen Beach, let's go, 8-0 in a contest cut short by the mercy rule. Congratulations to the second year 2024 to 2025 competitive cheerleading team for placing 5th at the FHSAA State Championship. Please give huge congratulations to Jazz Band for receiving a Superior at Jazz Music Performance Assessment for the first time in 3 years. Everyone clap. The South Fork Key Club has been diligently working on a literacy grant project titled Fostering the Love of Reading. Their efforts are focused on supporting Elevate Hope and Rena's House of Blessings. The students generously donated backpacks filled with books, socks, hygiene products, and other essentials to these organizations. In the hope of helping to make an extra special bright Valentine's Day for children, parents, and grandparents in need, members of the Spanish National Honor Society made Valentine's cards for patients of Discovery Village Memory Care Home, as well as for residents at Miss Rena's House of Blessings. Please join me in congratulating the 59 students for passing their Certified Veterinary Assistant CVA exam this week. As CVAs, they will be licensed through the Florida Veterinary Medical Association and are poised to enter the workforce in animal care positions at veterinary hospitals, animal rescues, and other facilities. Clap, I have friends there. Please congratulate the 24 students who passed their entrepreneurial and small business certification today. Clap again. Thank you. Congratulations to Bulldogs Safid Alam and Emmanuel Cavallero for advancing the finalist standings in the National Merit Scholarship Competition. These young men are now in the running to be scholarship recipients, which will be determined in March. The narrowing down from semifinalists to finalists puts them in the running among 15,000 finalists nationwide, in which just under 7,000 will qualify for the scholarship. Marissa Coates, a member of our swim and dive team, has been named Miss Martin County for the Martin County Fair. Now moving on to Martin County High School. On Thursday, February 20th, Martin County High School will be hosting freshman preview beginning in the gym at 5:30 p.m. They will be welcoming future Tigers to our campus to get a peek at all the wonderful academics, clubs, and CTE programs at Martin County High School. All 8th grade families are welcome to attend. Martin County High School leadership will be hosting the annual Tiger Trot on February 22nd at Stewart Memorial Park. Proceeds from the race will benefit Gertrude Walden Child Care Center. Congratulations to the Martin County High School student artists who earned 25 Scholastic Art Awards for the 2025 regional contest for Palm Beach and Martin counties. A special congratulations to the following Gold Key recipients whose artwork will go on to compete nationally: Elizabeth Grazzi, Jamie Lopez, Savannah McGlynn, and Ella Smith. An additional congratulations to Silver Key recipients Gianna Burgos, Mia Claire, Devin Craddy, Casey Fryer, Anna Gonzalez, Ann Ferreira Herman, and Jamie Lopez. Congratulations to junior Ari Smith for winning TC Palms Athlete of the Week. The guard scored a team high 23 points to help the Tigers win the District 13 the 6A title with a 74-69 win over Royal Palm Beach. The Martin County High School Drama Department will be performing their spring show, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, from March 13th through the 15th. Break a leg, Tigers. So I'd like to circle back on South Fork High School.
Please feel free.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, first I'm going to talk about how blessed I am to be a South Fork High School student. I was zoned for Jensen Beach because I'm only 10 minutes away, yet I drive 40 minutes to go to South Fork. That's how much it's worth it. The IB program is phenomenal. The staff infrastructure is lacking, but the people make up for it, I promise you. And if the air conditioner doesn't work, there are windows, and there is Miss Alvier with her fans. So at the end of the day, I still believe South Fork High School is a hidden gem of Martin County. And the people there are just phenomenal. The teachers, Mrs. Gorton, Mrs. Baird, oh my God, I have to list all of their names now. Mr. Hyde, Miss Troisy, oh God, they're gonna kill me if they don't hear their names.
Say all of them.
I'll say all of them. I'll go from first period to last period, at least. Okay. Miss Baird, biology, love her. So, what do I have second period? I don't even remember what I have. Oh yeah, Miss Gorton, math, love her. And then, I don't remember my periods. This is crazy.
You can just say all your teachers.
Okay. Mr. Hyde, Miss Bennett, a special shout out to her. Miss Jacobs, and Miss Welchant, and especially Dr. Sutton. Hidden gems. Mr. Winningham, I don't have him, but he's still a hidden gem. And these people, they're really bright. And I can tell that they're qualified for things that are way above just being high school teachers. The reason why they're with Martin County is because there's something about it. They're choosing to be here. They care. They really care. And there's something about this district that's different from other districts. And I have many friends who go through all sorts of districts. There's some sort of type of found family in Martin County School District that other school districts don't really have. And I think that that's something to really note. And again, I also wanted to talk about something. As much as we also love our teachers, there's another beloved teacher that passed away, regrettably, last night of a heart attack. He's Mr. Ian Gagnon. And I never had him as a student, but I'm in the girls' varsity bowling team, because it's, you know, I can get a varsity letter without playing a sport. And even though it was my opinion that bowling should not count as a sport, because I get more exercise chewing the pizza than rolling the balls, but Mr. Gagnon was a really good coach, and he was a really good man. And I've heard from his students how supportive he was. He was always understanding, and especially when I was learning how to bowl, because I'd never bowled in my life other than Wii Sports, right? And that doesn't count, because that's a video game. So, and I remember he was so patient, and he was always there to help me out, and he would figure out what I couldn't figure out, and he would sometimes take me to the side, and he would tell me some advice and cater to my needs. And it was amazing to have that type of attention. I don't know how many coaches really go above and beyond to help their students. So he was a really caring guy, very understanding, and we all miss him.
Thank you, Amira. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
We will now
Follow
have
that, Derek.
our district
No, I'm
update.
so nervous I can't even hold my phone. Sorry.
You get to follow
Bear,
Amira.
bear with me.
Go for it.
Okay.
I was going to say, Amira, feel free to jump in and help Derek out.
Yeah, I could use some help in the one-liner department. We'll just get started so we can move on. Derek Lowe, members of the board, good evening. Mr. Main, pleasure to be here and bring you this month's district update. I want to start by talking about our Martin County School District inaugural district-wide Black History Month celebration happening this Saturday, February 22nd at the Boys and Girls Club that's located off of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard downtown. This event is taking place from 9 a.m. to noon. It's going to feature creative pieces of art and captivating performances by students from various schools across our district. It is free to attend. Our full schedule of events can be found on our website under the web story for our Black History Month event. To learn more about the upcoming celebration, we also encourage you to listen to the latest episode of our All in Martin podcast that was released just 3 days ago. It's on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. In this episode, Stewart Training School alumni share their firsthand experiences growing up in our county during segregation and desegregation, reflecting on the resilience of the community and the lasting impact of leaders like Dr. David Anderson, the Murray family, Dr. Jack White, and many more. It's a very good episode. It's a little lengthy, but I promise it's worth the listen. Moving on, late last month, the district held its elementary and secondary spelling bees, each in their 59th annual year. Spellers put their skills to the test, and let me tell you, the competition was very fierce. Our elementary bee went 11 rounds. The winning word that helped crown our champion was unison. Our secondary bee went even longer. It was 18 rounds, and the winning word for our middle school students was artificial. We do want to again congratulate all of our spelling bee participants, many of which will be competing at the regional level next. And a special thank you to Board Chair Mrs. Pritchett and Mr. Jeff Umbaugh, who oversee the district's virtual school programs, for serving as our enunciators. We appreciate it. And now I would like to just cut away to a quick video recap. I know it's been a long night, but These students deserve it, so bear with me.
Surcharge. S-U-R-C-H-A-R-G-E. Surcharge.
There's no extra cost, no hidden fees, just pure spelling talent on display at the 59th Annual Lillian A. DeSori Elementary School Spelling Bee.
J-E-R-K-Y. Jerky.
Students lined up one by one, spelling their hearts out in front of family and teachers, each with their own little trick to nail the word.
The tips and tricks is to learn like especially IE and EI, where that goes, if it's O or AU or something like that or anything else, or remember house is not OW.
Students tackled challenging words like melancholy, eliminate, and lubbers. Round after round, they pushed forward, showcasing their dedication and preparation.
I didn't have to practice too much because I'm pretty good with words and spelling, but I had to practice like saying words out loud because I'm not as good with that because I slip up sometimes.
As the rounds continued, the words got tougher and the competition thinned. It all came down to the one final word.
Unison. U-N-I-S-O-N. Unison.
You're the winner! With that winning word, she earned the title.
I guess my title would be Spelling Bee Champion.
Congratulations to Kaylin, our second place winner Nicholas Gillette of Hope Sound Elementary, third place winner Logan Ferraro of Pinewood Elementary, and all of this year's spellers who worked unbelievably hard.
We don't have time for the podcast, not quite. Picking up where we left off, the South Fork High School Army JR OTC program recently received a $4,000 grant from the Home Depot Foundation, allowing for critical renovations to its outdoor training facilities. The upgrades, which took place back on January 29th, enhanced the Confidence Tower, the Marksmanship Range, and the Raider Obstacle Course, providing an improved training experience for our cadets. In addition to providing financial support, the Home Depot Foundation went a step further and also donated volunteer labor. 14 of their team members donated several hours of their time that day. These renovations have enhanced the hands-on learning experience for our cadets to gain through their participation in this program. And I know this is a group photo, but on the next slide here, you can kind of see some of the before and after. They were out there several hours. It was a nice morning. And last but certainly not least, if you went to elementary school in this district, you know how big of a deal the Russell Holloway track meet is every year. 41 years strong this year, but back on February 1st, our students battled it out at South Fork High School, participating in several events such as the softball throw, relay races, the long jump, 75-yard dash, and for the fourth year in a row, Citrus Grove, we all know, claimed the top prize again, followed by Jensen Beach and Felix A. Williams Elementary. Warfield Elementary did win our Cheryl Hubbard Sportsmanship Trophy this year. Their cheerleaders were up in the stands all morning and even into the early afternoon, cheering on their classmates. School board members, district leaders, principals, teachers, coaches, high school students, and parents all went the extra mile. And we appreciate, their time and dedication. And of course, a special shout out to Mr. Schaefer for helping organize this year's track meet as well. And we look forward to being able to share a video recap of that in the near future. But for now, that's all I have for this month. Till then, you can find us on all of our streaming platforms and social media platforms, and we'll be back in 30 days.
Thank you. Superintendent Maine?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much. School board members, it's my honor to be able to provide you the superintendent's update this month. We'll kick it off by thanking Principal Schmidt, who's in the audience tonight, for organizing and helping facilitate the kindergarten blast-off that we just recently had. It was a huge success. We welcomed all of our incoming kindergartners, the class of 2038, if you can believe that. We were very excited to see the amount of families that showed up at all of our schools. It was very well attended. Parents and caregivers visited their home zone schools. They toured classrooms. They met school leadership, and they learned all about the essential services such as transportation, how school meals work, and our extended day program. They even got to watch a wonderful video that Principal Schmidt recorded talking about how parents can assist preparing their kindergartners, incoming kindergartners, for success. class. The event served as a valuable opportunity for families to connect with all of our schools, and we would love to have you watch a quick video recap.
One, two, three, four, five, blast off.
That's right, they're blasting off into kindergarten. Hundreds of families visited Martin County School District's Kindergarten Blast-Off orientation event on February 11th. Their mission, finding out what makes our schools amazing.
We have a lot of hands-on learning. We really believe thoroughly in student engagement. It's a great way for students to learn. It helps them remember things, and it just makes them really excited to come to school every day.
Families of rising kindergartners got a sneak peek of what to expect when their students enter the classroom that very first day of school.
She's been here before with her brother, but so she could really go into the classrooms because she hasn't been in there before, meet some new friends, and see what kindergarten's all going to be about.
They explored every corner of their future school, the classrooms, media center, cafeteria, and even the car line. They also met the mascot, learned about school spirit, and discovered all the stellar clubs and programs.
And then way in the back is Mr. David and Miss Angelina. They're our extended day manager and assistant manager. They work miracles after school.
On top of learning how to prepare for kindergarten,
really the biggest thing we can tell you is just to spend time with your child and talk to them and read to them a little bit every day. That's the biggest thing you can do to have kindergarten readiness.
The night was purely a blast for everyone who came.
It's a great event. It was so nice to have the backpacks and everything here.
And just like that, the class of 2038 is ready to launch into kindergarten.
3, 2, 1, blast off.
I had the pleasure of joining Port Salerno Elementary School, and I forgot as an elementary principal how little they are when they walk in, and where they end kindergarten and leave is just a beautiful thing. For those that were unable to attend, kindergarten registration remains open online. Families can find boundary maps and required enrollment documents at martinschools.org. We look forward to receiving the class of 2038 this fall. Also on our end was the Martin County School District College Fair. So we started, and now we are closing out the year with all of our wonderful high school students and what opportunities they will have in here in the local community, as well as all of the universities and careers that the vendors that they may attend. As we work towards the end of the school year, many of those seniors are beginning to think about their next steps and life beyond. Back in October, the district held its annual college career, and several university scholarship providers and even branches of the military were in attendance. Over 200 students from multiple grade levels attended the fair and gained valuable insights into the post-secondary education. Let's watch a quick recap at this time.
It's never too early to plan for the future.
Welcome to the College Fair. I came here because I thought it was a good opportunity to come and connect with some of the schools around my area and kind of see what they offer.
At the MCSD College Fair, dozens of colleges, universities, military branches, and scholarship representatives lined the Martin County High School cafeteria, offering valuable insight for life after high school.
It's his junior year, so we're not on crunch time, but I wanted him just to see what's available to him. There are some schools that we know for what he wants to do in college are the top schools like UCF or Embry-Riddle, but I wanted him to explore and see what's available.
Students and families navigated through a buffet of options, with tables and info sessions highlighting programs, majors, and most importantly, scholarships.
Like, there's a scholarship for literally everything. Like, there's a scholarship for left-handed people. Like, I was looking through it on Zello, and there's scholarships for literally anything you can imagine.
Parents and students discovered the impact of in-state scholarships like Bright Futures and how they could make college more affordable.
I wanted him to talk to the representatives about scholarships and those availabilities because those will be very helpful for him.
Something I learned tonight is that the in-state tuition versus out-of-state for Florida, especially with like Bright Futures and some of the scholarships that we have available to us, it makes a very large difference.
Whether students know what they want to do or where they want to go,
I wanted to do aerospace engineering as my major,
However, I've been leaning towards film production as my minor.
Or they're still deciding. Planning for the future is just a little bit easier after attending the college fair.
Being able to come out here tonight and see the majors that they have, the programs and the scholarships that they have for specific majors and like passions, coming out here and seeing that is definitely worth it.
And for seniors out there who have not already decided if and where they are attending college after graduation, a friendly reminder that Indian River State College, who is a wonderful partner of our school district's Promise program, is back for another year. This program benefits all graduating seniors from any public high school on the Treasure Coast the opportunity to obtain a tuition-free associate's degree. We have more information on our website and how students can sign up to take the pledge and to take advantage of the Promise program. Last month, we celebrated over 100 students, 104 to be exact, who earned perfect scores on at least one of the state assessments for the last school year, which is incredibly difficult to do. Many of our students not only earned one perfect score, but some also earned as many as 3 perfect scores, ELA, math, and science. Achieving perfection is no simple task, and I just want to reiterate our congratulations to all of these students, their families, especially their teachers who helped to prepare them, and everyone else involved in their success. Their achievements serve as a powerful example of excellence, inspiring our entire district to reignite our vision of becoming Florida's top performing school district. At this time, this does wrap up my update.
Thank you. Mark, could you give your update about the pool, please?
Sure. So good evening, Madam Chair, board members, and Superintendent Main. So I'm excited. We have some exciting news moving forward with the Martin County High School pool project. Just to give you a little history, at the November 19th meeting, the school board decided on option 1, which is course of action number 1 and course of action number 6A. So those 2 items were involved under option number 1. So as of the board upload, which is currently on there, we only had a February 3rd date, which we were starting the proposal for the proposal request for the items under course of action number 1, which is the non-electrical items. But on February 7th, the purchase order was issued for the electrical items to the electrical contractor. As of 2/12, we had the proposal request done for the non-electrical items, and that went out to the contractors. And then as of today, February 18th, the electrical contractor actually started the items under 6A. So he has started that process at the pool. They were there, I don't know how long today, but one of my staff members met him on site. So they have started the electrical work. We will have the proposal due for the non-electrical work. That's the easiest way to explain this. You have electrical work and non-electrical work. The non-electrical work will be due on 3/21. So all this information now is uploaded on the website under the facilities department, and it's actually going to be uploaded to the joint meeting presentation that I will give then on the 7th. So this target's moving every 7 to 10 days. We're moving forward.
Well, thank you. That's good news. Appreciate it.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to thank Mr. Seacrest for his diligence and his hard work on this project. I know a lot of people have been asking about it, and Mr. Seacrest is right on top of it, and I appreciate him and his team's efforts, so thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We are now action only. Item 18, school board travel. May I have a motion to approve? Do we have any, I'm sorry, I'll say it in the group. Are there any public comments on any of these items? Seeing none, 1801 school board travel, can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Russell, second by Dr. Moriarty. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. 1802, request approval to renew Piggyback Palm Beach County School District catalog discounts, miscellaneous janitorial supplies through 1/22/26. I have a motion to approve.
Move approval.
Second.
Ms. Roberts, motion. Ms. Powers, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 1803, requisitions to be approved for purchase orders over $100,000. May I have a motion to approve? Approve.
Second.
Ms. Russell, motion. Dr. Moriarty, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion unanimous. 1804, request authorization to utilize St. Lucie County bid, purchase of janitorial supplies and chemicals. May I have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
Ms. Roberts, motion. Ms. Powers, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 1805, Murray Middle School, multiplex agreement for band and choir approval. All those, motion to approve.
Move approval.
Second. Thank you,
Ms.
Mark.
Powers, motion. Ms. Roberts, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. 18.06, Anderson Middle School Enhanced Security Project Proposal Approval. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 18.07, Hope Sound Elementary Enhanced Security Project Proposal Approval. May I
Move
have a
appro-
motion?
Move approval of 1807.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor? Unanimous. 18.08, implementation of the board-approved critical shortage paraprofessional supplement for educational paraprofessionals for the remainder of the 24-25 school year. May I
Move
have a-
approval.
Me. That was me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ms. Powers, motion. Ms. Roberts, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. 18.09, ancillary insurance renewals for the 2025-26 Employee Benefits Program. May I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Russell, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 1810, controlled open enrollment and choice for 25-26 school year. May I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. 1811, renewal Avid multi-year agreement, Danielle Farrell. May I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Motion by Dr. Moriarty, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 18.12, 25-26 Code of Student Conduct, Dr. Catherine Parendozzi. May I have a motion to approve?
I move approval, and I'd like to thank Dr. Parendozzi and her people for getting this done so quickly and so far ahead of time. It's really appreciated.
I'd like a
Second.
second.
Okay, it's a fight here. Ms. Roberts, motion. Ms. Powers, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
I have one question, Madam Chair. Is 1806 and 1807, is that sales tax money, Carter? So can we update and make that notation in the uploaded documents in the agenda item? Just so we know that that's what it is. Thank you, because I know that safety enhancement, and that's one of the categories from that. Appreciate it.
It's in there. It's okay.
I would like to ask for a short recess. Okay, we're going to be moving on to our public hearing of school board policy. Do I have any members of the audience who would like to make a public comment? I'm learning.
Good job. Good
Okay.
job, Madam Chair.
Okay, 20.01 legislative policy making.
Move approval of 20.01.
Ms. Powers, motion? Second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 20.02 meetings. May I have a motion?
Move approval of 20.02.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. 20.03 superintendent relationship. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Russell, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Falls, you got it, or do you want me to go back?
Got her.
Okay, I just want to make sure. 20.04, posting of vacancies. This is a rescind. I'd like a motion.
Motion to approve 1119, 3119, and 4119.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 20.05, 1129.01, 3129.01, 4129.01. This is a new policy, tutoring. May I have a motion?
Approval.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 20.06, 1150, 3150, 4150, resignation procedure. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 20.07, 1281, 3281, 4281, use of employees' personal property at school. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 20.08, waiver modification of rules, school improvement process. This is a rescission. May I have a motion?
Move to approve 20.08.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Moriarty, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 20.09, summer programs. May I have a motion?
Move to approve 20.09.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Moriarty, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 20.10, dropout prevention and academic intervention programs. May I have a motion?
Move to approve 20.10.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Moriarty, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.11, exceptional student education. May I have a motion?
Move to approve 20.11.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Moriarty, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. 20.12, selection and adoption of instructional materials. May I have a motion?
Move approval of 20.12.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.13, instructional materials program. May I have a motion?
Move approval of 20.13.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. 20.14, academically high-performing school districts. This is a new policy. May I have a motion?
Move approval of 20.14.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Roberts. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.15, at 3.12003 and 4120.03 athletic coaches. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
I'll second that, and I just have a question. So this is about all public school coaches being certified, and we're passing this now. Do we have all of them up to date and certified?
I'm going to refer that to Dr. Miller, who oversees our athletic directors.
Yes, ma'am. According to the athletic directors, they are.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You made a motion, second?
Sure.
You made the motion.
I made the motion.
Oh,
And I
okay,
seconded
Ms.
it.
Powers?
Yeah.
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Roberts. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.16, 3.120.08, 4120.08, part-time extracurricular personnel. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
I'll second that again, and Dr. Miller, are you also certifying to us that the ones that are not full-time also have those certifications?
Yes, I believe that to be correct, but I will confirm.
Okay, thank you. A second.
Okay, Ms. Powers, motion, Ms. Roberts, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.17, contracts for confidential positions. This is a new policy. May I have a motion?
To approve?
Second.
Ms. Russell, motion. Dr. Moriarty, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.18, school choice, intra-district rescind. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.19, school choice for full-time employees. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
20.20, school choice for residents and non-residents. This is a new policy.
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion by Dr. Moriarty and a second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.21, controlled open enrollment. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Ms. Roberts, but yes.
Oh, what did I say? I apologize.
I know, it's hard when you're
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
There's smoke coming out of Miss Falls' pen right now.
Was that controlled open enrollment?
You're
I
on
missed my
22.
place. Okay, thank
22,
you.
yeah.
20.22, withdrawal from school. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Russell, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. 20.23, self-administered medication and epinephrine. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Be a second.
Okay. Ms. Roberts' motion, Ms. Russell second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.24, student progression. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.25, reporting student progress. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 20.26, graduation requirements. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. 20.27, credits from other schools. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. 20.28, general education development. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Good job, Chair.
Okay. I pronounced epinephrine quite well, I
Yeah.
thought.
Good job, Amy.
Okay, we now have open to the board.
I have two things, Madam Chair. First, I want to give a shout out to Knoll and the Police Athletic League for all the great work they're doing with our students here in Martin County. They're working with many challenging cases and getting great results. I also have talked with Dr. Pirandozzi about trying to get some data on how those kids are improving, how their attendance is going up, how their grades are going up, and how the number of infractions are also going down. So we're going to be working with her, and I appreciate her help on this to help put some real hard data to validate this great program that's partnering with Martin County. And the other thing I have is Every February, we celebrate holidays like Valentine's Day and President's Day. But one February event that we also shouldn't forget is the tragedy that occurred in Parkland that claimed 17 victims at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. This week marks the 7th-year anniversary. As we look back, we continue to pray for the victims and their families, and we vow to never have an event like that in our schools again. So to ensure that, I'm challenging our safety and security teams, our SROs, our staff, and even our students to assess their schools and bring any findings to this board's attention. The safety and security of our children is our top priority, and we hope to keep it that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts?
Just want to say that I went to kindergarten blast-off at J.D. Parker, and I think that's an absolutely excellent selection for that team. And there's a lot of energy and a lot of positive vibes coming from the neighborhood, and I look for great things to be coming from there. So thank you.
Ms. Russell? Ms. Powers?
Yes, just a couple of things. Just a reminder that VPK enrollment is also underway, and you can apply for your for parents that have a 4-year-old for the upcoming school year. You can apply for your free VPK certificate at the Early Learning Coalition. I also I spoke to quite a few teachers this week, and one, I just want to say how much positive feedback I've received about our cell phone policy. It continues to be something that I think has really made a difference in classrooms. And so I know that it was, you know, it gets off to a rocky start because change is really hard. But I just think that it was really the right thing, and we're seeing the results of that in behavior, but also in the decrease in the number of kids that are have their cell phones out, but also the productivity that's happening in the classroom. And then one thing that Derek failed to mention, and this is one of my very favorite times of year, is the spelling bee. And for those of you that don't know, I was the 5th grade winner of the spelling bee at Indiantown Middle School. So next year, don't forget. Just kidding. So, but thank you. That's it for me.
Superintendent Maine?
Just a couple comments. There's a lot going on in my head right now, but I'm going to try to just be very concise and articulate with what was discussed tonight and be brief. I just want to put some data out there, the Martin County School District retention rate, because I know we have teachers that are watching, and I know tonight's meeting was heavy, but I also want you to know that there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes collectively with staff, and I want to say thank you to Don Calderon and team for a lot of work, many weeks in collecting all of that data and meeting with individual board members to make sure that they have everything that they need necessary to make an informed decision. And sometimes decisions are not easy, even with the amount of data or information that's before you. Anytime we have to make a decision collectively that is going to impact either former staff or current staff is never easy decisions. But at some point, we have to draw a line in the sand on making sure that we are valuing all of our current employees and the salaries and their requests to increase salaries. And so again, I will commit to you, and I know the board is committed, that we will continue to do what we can to make sure that we are increasing salaries and that we're being competitive, that we are always competitive with our surrounding districts and our surrounding counties, because we know that we have to have the very best teachers up in front of students in order to get to that #1 position as a state and as a district. I say that to share with you that earlier today I sent an email to the entire board and also the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Morrison, and the entire staff. My executive leadership team knows that I'm asking for every single department to look at a 30% decrease in their expenditures. And we will go line item by line item to make sure that we are rolling back our budget, to make sure that we are making fiscally responsible decisions. We'll look at all of our contracts. We'll look at retirement and insurance, as we did. We'll look at every aspect of how we run our district operationally in order to make sure that we are aligning our resources with the appropriate FTE that we're bringing into the district. We cannot spend more than we're bringing in. I also want our teachers to understand and the community to understand that unlike our sister district to the north of us, we are experiencing a decline in FTE. Okay, either we are flat or in some cases a decline in overall FTE, meaning we are not generating and bringing in the revenue that the other district to the north is. They're experiencing a lot of growth in their area. With growth comes increased FTE, and with increased FTE comes increased revenue and funding. But I continue to be proud of the work that is happening with the board and staff, that even in the midst of having decreases in FTE and enrollment, we are making sure that we're prioritizing our employees first. We have not decreased salaries, we've increased salaries every single year. We just brought forward a competitive increase to our administrative salaries to match St. Lucie and also Palm Beach, and to come in at a very competitive rate with what those administrators are making. So I know we haven't had a whole lot of time to discuss this. Yes, insurance is one piece, but it's one piece to the puzzle. We will be bringing forward other financial areas that we will be decreasing so that we can continue to give the board the best leverage that they have to continue paying the employees that we do have what they are worth and what they deserve. The Martin County School District retention rate is 87%. The last Florida state reported retention rate was 77%. So we far exceed the state average by over 10%. And I want you to know that the teacher shortage is not a Martin County situation. It is a national situation that is happening throughout. And the salaries for teachers is not a Martin County problem. It is a national problem. It is a state problem that we continue to try to tackle and do the very best we can with every single day. So I just want our staff to know that we remain committed to you. We remain committed to being fiscally responsible so that the board can make the decisions that they need to make on behalf of their constituents and on behalf of our students and our employees. And we've got great things that are happening in this district every single day. And there were a handful that aren't happy here in the audience today, but that does not represent us being the second largest employer in the Martin County School District, in the community, I should say, in the Martin County. And we have a lot of very proud, very happy, very steadfast and dedicated employees to the cause. And so I just wanted to end with that.
Thank you. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.